Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, you caught me off guard. Oh my gosh. I'm in your YouTube chat.
You in my YouTube? Are you in my YouTube?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Can you make me a mod so I can get rid of people?
I don't know how to do that on this now without coming out of it. I can try.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got to do it on the YouTube side if you're not on YouTube side.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, then I'll mail Louise to see if she can do that. I'll mail Louise if she can do that for me. So welcome, hello, and welcome to another Saturday night of Shadow Whispers in the night. Tonight, for the first time, joining me as co-host is Emmy McKenzie from PDX Paranormal.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for being here. We were on the show last night. Bonkers. Let me just tell you. Where's your purse? Leave it at home? No. Pick it up. This is her purse. She loves her purse. It's nice, isn't it?
Hey, look, the eyes aren't red tonight.
The eyes are red. Last night they were red. My eyes are red from not getting to bed early.
Yeah, right? Oh, my gosh.
How are you today? How was your day?
My morning's been pretty good so far. I got up and laid on the couch and slept for another few hours and then till my husband wake me back up. And yeah, it's been good though. How's yours?
It was good. Jim's stuttering there. Good. It was good. Got to bed. I got to bed with late daylight.
Oof.
I know. Had a few hours sleep and woke up and I'm thinking, please don't let it be 6 o'clock in the evening. Please don't let it be 6 o'clock in the evening.
I've done that.
It was in the afternoon, but I needed it. But it was in the afternoon, but I needed more.
Hi, Kimmy.
Hi, Kimmy. Is that you in the top? Is that you?
That's me.
That's you. Oh my God, I didn't even look. Hi, Kimmy.
That's me.
So tonight we have a fantastic guest. We have tried this a few times and I always had issues, left, right, and center. Now we are here tonight. We have Anthony Ceballos. Hope I'm saying that right, Anthony. Am I? Yes, you can see in the background. There we are. I'm going to tell you a wee bit about Anthony now. He has been around the paranormal world for over 40 years, which is amazing. He's had his first experience when he was 5 years old. Anthony is the founder of Texas Wraith Hunters and Wrath World podcast. So we're going to bring Anthony on. We're going to have a blast. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey.
I like that.
I'm being good.
No.
Stop. There we go. Oh my gosh.
Cool behave.
Oh, I know. It's funny. It's funny. I was going to say, thank you for being here, Anthony.
Oh yeah, they finally made it.
I know.
Three times.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
you're
For
here,
3 strikes, you're out. It just really depends on how you
Yeah.
look at it.
I'm still podcast drunk.
I would say so.
Podcast hangover or something.
Me too. Me too. Like hugely. Like these glasses are staying on. Even though you can see through them, but they're staying on.
What?
No. Pretty
I'm
tired.
live.
Hello.
That's my son, Ozzy. Ozzy, come here.
Ozzy, come in and say hi.
He actually, he's into the paranormal too, and this is my son, Ozzy. He what do? You oh my God, my brain just broke.
Astral project?
He astral projects and stuff.
Oh, I know. Okay.
Yeah. He dream walks and yeah.
Oh my
He
gosh.
hears them.
Dream
He's got a very special gift, yeah.
I'd like to know more about that.
Yeah. You should have him on your show one day.
I will, because we never spoke about that before. We have never talked about
Really?
that. I'm interested in all of that. The other stuff that I don't understand, I'd like to know more of. So then
Yes.
when we do talk about it, then I'll understand. Because I'm kind of stuck in the paranormal and audio and video and whatnot. I'd like to know more.
Yeah, and we were talking about the spirits be deaf or could be deaf, and that's another reason why you'd want to use the Ouija board too.
Totally.
Remember we were talking about that last night. So yeah.
I will see Louise tomorrow, so I'll talk to her about it tomorrow. But Anthony, tonight is about you.
No, right.
You
Oh
on,
no.
you're on the hot seat. We're just going to sit back, relax, and listen to you. Go for it.
For me, well, I guess maybe like 8,000 years ago, I fell out of the sky and started from there. That's what it feels like.
I know. I
But no,
know.
but yeah, but when I was five, I actually died when I was five, which a lot of investigators have noticed that we share the similar story.
Hmm.
So I don't know if that sometimes has something to do with it. I mean, well, part of it, and I don't believe it's all of it.
Heightens your
Yeah,
gifts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and
Definitely.
yeah, like we were talking last night with Candy, from Raven's Arthur of Darkness, that when she got possessed and she passed and she came back, her abilities were heightened.
Mm.
Yes.
So I
Wow.
think that's what it does, and maybe that wakes us up even more. You know what I mean?
Opens you up.
So yeah, and just started from there, and then as I was growing up, of course, I didn't have the parents that well, my parents weren't there anyway, so I didn't have anyone to tell me things like that. It's imaginary.
Mm.
Right.
And
Okay.
I'm always saying, if you notice little kids when they're like 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, you leave them by themselves. They're always pointing at things. You know what I mean? They're pointing, they're
Yes.
talking.
Yes.
So because they're fully awake, that's how we all are. But then the society, the parents come in and start saying, well, you know, it's cool to have imaginary friends, but they're not real. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it starts to deaden that, and so I didn't have that. So mine just grew, and I never had it. I never heard that. And of course, back then, we didn't have the shows, we didn't have anything, so really people didn't talk about it. And like the Warrens were out, but I never watched them. You never see them on TV or anything like that.
Yeah. Anthony and I are the same age, so we grew up in the same era, and yeah.
Right. So we didn't see any of that. So it was kind of like everything was all out of sight. We didn't know anybody. And then so
Hmm.
that's with me. Like I said, that's what my abilities got so strong at a very young age. I mean, most of my abilities that uh, by the time I was already 12, I mean, they were already up there.
Can
And
I ask a question?
yeah, yeah.
How
This
how
is a
did
time
you
for everybody to ask the
how did
Wraith
you
Prince.
die at the age of 5? What happened? Were you in a car accident, or I got dog hair in my eye again?
Dog hair. Yeah. So like I was saying, this is the time to. Everybody warned us about the Wraith Prince, so this is the time to get in my brain and ask the questions. So,
Absolutely.
So
um,
how did you die? And I'm so sorry to hear that.
I was well, it was cool, and I was actually rocking. I was on a chair in the bedroom because my grandmother's the one that raised me, and she had those older style beds, the wooden frame beds, and
Hmm.
they got those really sharp corners. Back
Yeah.
then nothing
Right.
was child
Yeah,
proof.
the dove
Yeah, you know how
picture.
nowadays everything's child proof.
Yeah.
Back then everything was deadly.
Yep.
And well, I was on my chair, and I remember this part of it, that I was leaning back on the chair, and of course, as a parent says, hey, stop leaning back, you're gonna fall back, and of course,
Yeah.
we don't listen. So I was
All
doing
four
this.
on the floors.
Yep. So I was doing that. I was rocking on my chair, but I do remember this, that I actually felt like something pushed me,
Really?
and yeah, I can still feel it even right now. As I'm saying, I can still feel it in my chest. Like I just felt like a strong poof. It just pushed me. I fell back, and I hit the corner of the bed, right in the back of
Oh,
that soft part of your neck, right here,
Mm.
the skull, and then that's the last thing I remember. You know what I mean? I remember hitting it, and then that was it. I was out. And then, of course, later on, they told me that I had died for 5 minutes,
what?
Wow.
well, I was dead for 5 minutes, and then
Wow.
because I remember bleeding. Yeah, because I was bleeding because it cut a big gash in the back, but it was right in that soft part, back of your
Yeah.
neck. Yeah, right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so that's what happened.
Do you remember
Wow.
anything when you had passed away? When you passed away for the 5 minutes? Do you remember seeing anything?
No, that everything's black from that point.
Oh,
but
wow.
right after that, I mean, like I said, about maybe when I was about 6 or 7, that I can remember, I started having a lot of nightmares. Like I would have nightmares of this little dark shadow. I used to call him the
Oh,
Birdman, and he would come, and I still remember those dreams real vivid. Like he would come in the form of my because my grandmother would leave me with my aunt. You know, I mean, she would take care of me when she worked at night, and because back then you could leave your kids basically by themselves. Now,
Yeah, when they were age 7.
yeah,
yeah, I know.
we'll be back later tomorrow.
I know. We're back in 12 hours.
Yeah, and he would come to the house to come because she would come and pick me up, after work, which was really late at night, and so but in the dream, she would come to the door to my aunt's house, and but I always knew that it wasn't her. He would come in the shape of her, to come pick me up, and
Right.
then but I it was he would chase me around through the house because I wouldn't go. I knew what it was. Even in the dream, I knew. I would tell my aunt, "Don't open the door. It's not her. It's not her." And she opened the door, of course, in the dream, and then he would always come in and
Right.
chase me through the house. Well, in the dream, he killed my aunt, and then he would come
Oh,
after me.
I was
And
going to say, was he nice?
yeah, he would come after me because I would run, and I run across the street. But it was like a reoccurring dream, and it was different types of different scenes in the dreams, each one.
Mm.
But it was always that little black shadow. So through those, you really, by the time I was 10, I mean, I was still like it carried on in my teens, but
Right.
also too, my ability started getting stronger. So I started to figure out what it was because I already knew what it was. I knew it wasn't my aunt. I knew it was something else.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I dealt with a lot of stuff at a real early age,
Wow.
seeing the entities. I would see things around my grandmother. Um, I even had things would tell me to kill my grandmother.
Now, when you had passed away for the 5 minutes, do you think that this black shadow had entered your mind, if that makes
I
sense?
do.
And that obviously he's a negative one if he's wanting you to
When
kill
you
you.
passed away, your senses totally opened up. You may have been a portal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I believe it was from that. That was from that. Like I said, now, or maybe he just. I don't know how he attached, but he did. And like I said, I would get a lot of things like that to attack, and excuse me, and so it just like I said, I dealt with all of that at a real young age. Like I said, it told me one time my grandmother was cooking in the kitchen, and I could just hear a voice to tell me to go up to her and cut her throat.
That
And
is,
I think I was
Oh
only
my
like
gosh.
I was young, man. I was still
And that's something
maybe 10,
traumatic that you
yeah,
would
maybe 10 or 11
experience.
or something like
yeah.
Wow.
that. And I've said that before. Just can you imagine a little kid like that trying to deal with things like that? I mean, but by that time, I already knew that this wasn't good. You know what I mean?
Right.
And of course, we didn't say nothing because back then they would lock you up. Now we
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
talk about paranormal stuff, and even the police uses psychics. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit
Yeah.
more easier now for that than just come out and just say it back then.
And did you figure out
So
who it was? Sorry, Emmy.
no, that's okay. It's your show.
I'm looking like back and forth.
I don't mind. The two ladies will be waffling. Did you said you found out, you discovered who it was, or you found out who it was as you got older? Did you do anything to get rid of?
I don't remember how I got rid of them. Um, I don't. I just know that I think, I think maybe I turned it around or something, and I started to wait for it to come.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
that's what it was. I don't really quite remember all of it,
Mm.
with that part of it. But
Hi, Miss Cheesecake. I was going to ask. So obviously, when you hit your neck and stuff, they took you to the hospital, right? And you were declared dead. do you think maybe you got the attachment from there and brought it back? Because, being at the hospital, there's so many wandering souls.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, like I said, I did never, like it's real so long ago, what I mean? But it's
Right.
those are the parts that I remember, and
Right.
then I just know, but I know that from that point on, I know by the time I was 12 and 13, because when I started school, like in the 5th grade, I mean, I could read the kids, and that was
Oh
hard,
my gosh!
and that was hard because
Wow.
kids kids were mean. I guess I
Yeah.
think we're meaner than we are now, or sometimes. And
We were mean, but we had a lot of respect for adults.
right.
That's the
Oh
difference.
yeah. So, so I could read the kids. So I was really a loner through my whole school times. You know what I mean? I
Right.
never got close to anything or anybody. I didn't like to be touched either. Because if you touch me, I'm going to know things about
You
you.
feel it. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
So, but that was like in elementary school. So, by the time I got into
Hey,
my
Facebook users.
junior high school and all that, then yeah, I was already out there. And then I started getting high, so in high school, when I got to high school in the 80s,
Yep. Yep.
so
The 80s.
that helped out a lot. Well, it kind of did. I mean, cannabis is not that bad, I mean, it calmed me down,
You're younger than us, obviously.
but I was higher, higher, in school and everything. But
Yep.
that's when I started to get into a lot of the. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out how to put this, because I hate saying it in the darker ways.
No, just say it because I mean, you have to put it out there. You have to be face value. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't hide nothing.
It's just the dark. It's just the one. We like I talk about that a lot on my podcast. Is darkness.
Transparent.
Yeah. When we mention the word dark, it's already got this painted picture of what dark is.
Did he just freeze?
So that's what I mean about when I refer to dark. I hate to use that word because it's not the way people perceive it is. But anyway,
True.
That's
why we're here to educate on stuff like
right.
that.
So for the sake of people like that, is got into the darker side of things, I guess, and which is magic and everything else. Because I started to study numerology, Reiki. Something Reiki was something I just found out. This is crazy because I've been able to do that since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
I started doing that. Like a lot of the things that I know, my abilities, I wasn't taught. I already knew them.
Right.
And now, even now, I want to put a list of all the abilities like clairvoyancy. There's psychometry, I think it is.
Yes.
Where you lay your hands on things.
Yeah.
All the lists, because I know that I have a lot of them. You know what I mean? And I was doing that at a very young age. Of course, back then we didn't know. I never heard of Reiki or anything. I just
right.
A couple of years ago I started seeing what that is. But the movement of energy with your hands, I mean, that was one of the first things that I was doing. And so, see, I don't know where all that came from. I don't know if it's what I mean, because I always believe that we all have these abilities. You don't lose them. You can put them to sleep or something, because like that, but you don't lose them. We're born with these things.
Yeah.
And it's because of who we are. You know what I mean? Who we all are, not just me, all of us. And we have these, and since I was never, it was never doused on me by other people, that I kept them, and I just started to remember.
Wow.
And say some of us, even for me, when I was younger, I didn't, have any of that. I didn't have any. Not everybody does. Like what you said, Anthony, we do have them somehow. And as I got older, I'm getting more because I'm at it a long time. My dog is unsettled. I'm at it a long time, and now he is. He's 12, and I don't know what's happening with him. I don't know what's going on.
You got a storm, right?
It's windy out. It's windy. The weather's really bad. It's crap. but it's my weather. I like it.
I love it too.
Like the cold.
It's 101 right here right now.
It's what?
101.
Oh, you can keep that.
Oh my God.
Sitting here with my fan and kind of like
West Texas.
Wow.
That fan won't work here.
And it's a dry heat, right?
Yeah, it's a
not
dry
even
heat.
dry. Oh
It's
my
just
God.
hot. Yeah. That fan will melt. That little fan ain't gonna work here. You either have AC or you're dead.
Yeah, you gotta have swamp coolers.
No, you'll die with those, man. I like real AC.
But I say it's different heat over like here when it's really, really, really hot. It's sweltering. We're done. Like we're done. We're cooked. We're baked. Everyone's out. Barbecues because the next day will be raining, or you could be standing at a barbecue and your welly's an umbrella. You take any. But I say if I go abroad, like I go to Spain or somewhere like that, the heat hits differently. It's nice.
Yes.
It's nice over there. It's nice for the heat and it's nice.
Well, I'm agreeing with you. I've never been to Spain. It's like my weather here in Oregon is so different than, Central States and Florida and the East Coast and stuff.
But 101? No. That's Chris. Hi, Chris. What I was saying was, as I got older, I'm in the field a little longer. I'm opening up again. So I would get, and I know some people think it's funny even when we're out on location, and I get names said to me in my head. I get names, and they look at me and they're like, "Jenny, are you doing it again?" Patricia, John, Tom, Patrick, but. It has came through. True. It came true. I know we were doing a live one night, and I was saying Louise was doing the Estes method. We were all in the one room, and
I love that.
It was. I love doing it. I love the Estes method, and Louise was calling out blah blah blah. She was talking and giving answers and whatnot. We were all standing around, and I said, "I'm getting a Maureen. I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong." And then Alan looked at me and he made a face, and I'm like, "Do you know Maureen? Do you know Maureen?" And he goes, "Look what you're standing. Look what you're standing beside Jenny." It was a glass cabinet. And Jim Gary would have been a writer, and Jim Gary would have been Alan Gary's uncle. And he said Maureen was his second wife. I'm like, no. And then you hear me going, and I was like,
"Yep,
told you." I told you.
You know what I've noticed ever since the beginning of, COVID, I'm going to say it. A lot of people that I've worked with and stuff like that too, their abilities had come out. I don't know if it's because you had so much time, and people weren't working or whatever. But have you guys noticed that more people's abilities start coming out during the whole COVID and stuff?
Yes. Yeah. I've noticed that. And I thought it was just me being me. But, I love it when I'm right. I told you that happened. There was one name that I got, Julia, and they looked at me like I had 10 heads, like Jenny.
Yeah. Oh Jenny. My God, that's my saying.
It hasn't come through yet, but she will. She will come through. And every time I say, "Petunia, are you here?" And Adam looks up at me like this. Really? One night we were doing the playback, and Alan looked at me and goes, "Oh my God, I think we have a Petunia." I jumped up. Bad back? What bad back? Bad knees? What bad knees? Jumped up off the couch and went over to him, and I'm like, "Let me hear." But it was wrong. It was something that sounded like Petunia.
Oh.
Yeah, for like 5 minutes, I had no bad back and no bad knees.
Wow.
So fast. Hi, Donna. I'm going to say quick. This is Lauren.
Donna.
Hi, Lauren.
I lived in Laredo, Texas for 2 years, 2000 to 2002. This is Jen's friend, Lauren.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, Anthony, did you notice, you already knew you had these gifts and stuff like that. Around the COVID time, do you think your gifts even heightened even more?
No.
You don't think so?
I think right now, so I've heard this before about COVID. I think maybe because people got locked down, so they were, when you have time to, we all have to take time, even now especially, uh, is to get in within ourselves. There's times like here. This is what I did not too long ago. I got away from everything, and it was kind of hard because I'm always on a podcast. I'm always on social media. Every day. We all three are, and so it's kind of hard to get away from it. You know what I mean? Like, I just could put it away. No, I'm not going to get on there because I felt that I needed this time now because everything that I've gone through here lately, and that I needed just to get away from everything and shut the noise in and really, like, we call it meditation, but get in with myself and evaluate myself of what I need to clean out, what I need to get rid of, and then come back and come in clean and then start to like to develop myself even higher. And because right now I've been working a lot with frequency, and to raise to myself to that higher frequency now. And so to do that, well, you have to get away from everything, and then you got to get away from all the other negative frequencies and people,
re-energize yourself,
right, and people, and then in the time that we live in right now, it's hard, because we have the world all around us, and then we're in here and we're in front of these cameras and everything else, and so it's hard to get away. It's like, and now I can see why people, or like the stronger people, they live in the mountains, like Emmy right there in the back. They're up there somewhere by themselves, no cell phone, no nothing. We can't even go 5 minutes without the cell phone.
Oh, it's like an umbilical cord. Oh
right.
My gosh.
So I did that, and I think that's what some people, they got in, they shut in, and their life, everything changed. You know what I mean? You couldn't go out, whatever. So maybe some of those people started to go within themselves.
That's 100%. I only said today, I was sitting on the couch and I said, I need to meditate, but my head is so much full. It's so full.
Everything's running in there.
I don't know how to empty it. Somebody had a daughter today, and I literally turned into a she-devil. Oh, the Lord, I turned into a she-devil because I was tired. I had enough of crap all week. And my daughter was very upset over some people. And let me tell you, I left him a voicemail. And I said, I'm not going to say what I said, but I will say, cuckoo mother, cuckoo. If anyone hears, it's like, my other friend listened to it and said, Jenny, like, did you change into a different person? I'm beginning to get to the end of my patience and time for a lot of things. And
I hear you there.
Beginning to shut down and close down. What will not bring me peace, it goes. And I need to start to learn to meditate, put my phone away, take time out, take a break. That's what I need to do, because it's getting to a point where if it doesn't serve your peace, let it go.
Right.
Let it go.
And that's the perfect word, to empty yourself out. That's actually what we do, to empty that out. But it's a challenge on its own to do it, But I think that's what happened with some people in COVID, is that they had that chance maybe to get in with themselves, and that's why their abilities started to come out.
That's funny. Now that I'm thinking about, so as I was growing up, I had abilities and stuff. I grew up in like a really haunted town here in Oregon. I would hear things and stuff like that, see shadows. But when I got married and started a family, I shut all that off, because I just didn't want my kids, I don't know. I shut it off. And it was crazy. I was able to do that. But but I'd still do I'd see things here and whatnot. But what I'm getting at, I waited till my daughter graduated and then my abilities came back. And they're getting stronger and stronger too. And it was during the COVID. She actually graduated during COVID, and then, Yeah,
see, that's what happened to me too. Here is that for, like I said, after that, and I know that magic is, it's. I just say, like I said, for people, people or majority of people, when they hear dark, it's that other kind of dark. You know what I mean? Like the ones that think can hit.
right.
Okay, well, I got into all that, and I started into many different traditions and learned those, but I was very angry too. I had a lot of rage. I always just say, I'm not angry, I have rage. So when you have abilities and rage, and you start to learn even more, he really became a really deadly person. I mean, unfortunately, I did hurt a lot of people. I'm not proud of it, but I
Yeah.
was just a walking nightmare, literally.
Mm.
And
I
and and I learned how to use things so I could
did.
manipulate anything, people,
Yes.
energy.
We
But yeah, I was
the
that.
three of us have a lot in common, more in common than what we know.
I
We've
did
never
think
really talked.
Yeah, I was like that guy from Harry Potter. I was actually just watching Harry Potter a while ago. That
oh my
that
God. Today
that
when I
dark
was in
one,
the voicemail, I did say, you have no idea what I can do.
right? And
Okay,
then
Jenny, like, you have no idea. I said, the work that I do, be afraid. Oh my God, I needed sleep. Jenny turned into a crazy Jenny. I don't know
right,
why I got upset and I turned into Mama Bear, so we're not doing that. But I said that, and I'm like, okay, you need to shut it down and you need sleep. And but I did shut it down.
right.
I would say shut. But
And,
yeah, I
and
totally
then see,
understand
and
the
then see,
anger
like
part.
what Emmy was saying was that like that was the same thing with me. Of course, I was like that. I was like that for a long time, for decades. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
then once I moved, because I had to move because I was into a whole bunch of other stuff that I had to move. Because originally I'm from Dallas, Texas, and so I grew up in a big town. And
Right.
then I
Big
ended up
city.
ended up I met my wife over there, and then we ended up moving over here to Odessa, in the middle of nowhere, desert,
I
little
love
town
it.
that goes to sleep at 9 o'clock when I'm barely waking up. It took me like
Yeah,
three,
right?
took me like 3 years to get used to that. Cause like, where's everybody at? Where everybody works here, you know? And
That's my
so
English bulldog in the background, if that's what you're hearing. That's
yeah,
Lily.
those are
She's
the dogs.
kind of tripping.
That's stupid. These two are kind of going crazy now. Well, every time I do shows, two of them are playing about.
She normally doesn't do that, so she's just like, okay.
She hears.
And somebody was saying that too. Sounds like the dogs are
Yeah.
sensing spirits this evening. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
have you
correct.
guys ever noticed too? Like, okay, so I know Anthony and I have been on many shows together and stuff, and it's like when we're on. Remember the cat ball when the cat ball just went off and nonstop. It
Yeah.
just nonstop, because normally it'll stop, and if you bump the table, it'll go. It went nonstop, and it's almost like
With the
because
dolls.
Oh wow.
yes, and because of my abilities, his abilities, and stuff, and Howard's. When Howard was on there,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
almost like when you get the the number three together, and your abilities actually heighten. Also, like his dolls, and I called out which doll did what, and I was right.
Well, there's a story that I found out about that doll, the Brooke, and you were right on
Really?
that Brooke. Yeah. But
Uh,
but but let me get back to this one here.
yeah.
I can bring
Sorry.
that one. So what ended up happening is, like I said, I moved here, and then of course I wanted to get away from everything because all the years already of being. I was 28 when I moved here, and so but that was already for me. I already been around so much stuff and done so many things in this supernatural world thing that when it's because when I met my wife, I have two sons. They're my two stepsons. But I met when I got with her, they were 6 and 7. So we moved here. Yeah, they were still young. Yeah, and then all of a sudden now I got a person in my life, and then I got two kids in my life. Like I became a dad overnight, literally,
Wow.
because they were already there. And so now I'm starting to work, and I'm starting to develop this other life that I never knew. And then my daughter came along 3 years, so 28, 29, 30, well, 5 years later. Um, I was trying to just kind of get away from a lot of the thing, look at the world in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And when my daughter was born, that's when I felt like, okay, before you didn't have anyone, so you didn't have when people start coming after you, what I mean, if they like you share, if they can't get to you, they're gonna get to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like with Emmy. That's when I started looking and says, well, now I have my daughter and I got these, my boys, and it's not just me.
Yeah.
So I started to back off now. I'm just not practicing, not doing anything else anymore. I just want to get away, shut all this down, and I did, and I shut it down because I was afraid that something would, not just people, but the entities would come after them. You know what I mean?
Oh, God.
You see,
I could tell you, like with Ozzy, I heard him fall out of bed one night, and I go in there. I'm like, "Are you okay?" Not only did he fall out of bed, something pulled him across his room, and he was really young. So that's one of the reasons why, same with you. That's why I was trying to put everything on the back burner.
Yeah,
and
that's what I did, and which it didn't help me because right after that I got into the Christian church, and not knocking anybody who's in there, but for me it was, then I stayed. I was in there for over 10 years, and I was in deliverance ministry. But at the same time, it's because I was trying to be good. I was trying to be a good Jenny. A good Jen. I was trying to be a good Jen.
Good Jenny.
Yeah, and it was cool.
That's what Jen, Chantel, was saying, that my very, very best friend from South Africa, Jen can tell someone to take a dump in their best Sunday pants in such a way they will look forward to it. Chantel's bonkers. She's very funny.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I was trying, I was trying to live a different life now, not doing any of this stuff or not retaliating against anybody who looked at me wrong, you know what I mean? And but that was an experience on its own because it messed me up so bad because I was in there for so long like that and doing so many things. We were really involved in this community, and but at the same time I could never be who I was. Or who I was, because I would see things in the church and I would know things in there. I even seen our pastor we were there from the church when it first started. We were there at that church for 3 years, and I knew that he was having an affair with one of the members, and then he ended up getting caught, and it destroyed the church. But I saw it before it happened. I mean, I knew what he was doing. I would look at him and I would talk to him, and I could see him of what he was doing. But I couldn't say anything because I'll be the one that we used to get people and put them in a room and start yelling and praying for them and everything.
Right.
So it was really hard for me to do that, and it was a conflict because I knew that the Bible says we're not supposed to do this. Because I went to seminary school after that, and everything, and went down all that yard, and so now I had a conflict of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And then compared to what the Bible says, well, then I'm going to hell, I'm going to burn and everything else. And I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm possessed or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, so there was a conflict for all those years that finally, when the church did fall, it was actually a relief for me because that's when we stopped going.
Yeah.
And then I since I work out in the oil field, I'm always by myself. And then so that helped out a lot too because it helped me to start coming back to myself and then like Amy said, once my daughter reached she's fixing to turn 23 and she's already moved out. She actually lives in Dallas. So now she moved out. My other boys moved out a long time ago. And they already have their families and their life.
Oh, you're an empty nester.
Yes. I just told my wife the other day, I said, look at this. Have you realized that it's just me and you and the cats now?
Yeah.
It's
I have 2 boys at home now.
It's weird. It's a little weird because I still walk by the crystal store room that y'all saw last night.
Yes.
That was actually her room. So, what I mean? That's but I still walk by sometimes when going to the restroom, and I can still feel her that she's still there. You know what I mean? But but now that they're all moved out, and my daughter's really strong. My daughter, she's out there, man. I mean, she's like double what I was when I was younger.
That's crazy because our daughter moved out too when she turned 18 and graduated and stuff.
Yeah, so she has her abilities. Her abilities are some of them are further out there than mine. And she's
great when they have them. It's great when the young ones have it. I was in the museum with my daughter. She's now 19 and she's intellectual disabilities. And she's brilliant. She's funny and sassy and cheeky and everything else. So I took her to the museum with me. We were doing some work with Alan in the museum. So Jessica sitting in the room where I had gotten the name Maureen and so on and so on. And I said to Alan, it's amazing how she's so innocent and she doesn't know what this room is about and so on. So when she was leaving the room and I said, Jess, let's go, we're leaving. And she stood at the frame of the door and she looked at me and she goes, Mom? And I said, did you hear? And she goes, I heard a woman. I high-fived her. It was like the perfect moment ever. And I'm like, oh, listen, graduate college, do everything. But you heard something. And that for me was, I loved it. I loved it.
Right. So, and then my sons, they're the same way. They have their gifts also. You know, one of them still doesn't really mess with it. You know, my other one, my co-founder to our team, you know, he's kind of out there too, but he struggles a little bit still. But he's pretty much out there. But once now that they're gone and they all know how to protect themselves. Because my daughter, she's really into the crystals, you know what I mean? She knows a lot, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's like, where did you get all this? How did you learn all this stuff?
Yeah.
And then, so now, then it's just me and my wife. So now I was like, Emmy, now I started to go back. And that's why I put myself away, because I started going back within myself and started to reactivate really everything. And now I want to start really using it now. You know, again. But since I've already learned the negative way of doing things, now I it's different. You know what I mean? I've been down that bad road, and so now I'm not gonna put you in a bottle and bury you in my backyard. You know what I mean?
Like Oregon, we can compost bodies there.
So, but I mean, you know, I know how to come at things differently now, in a more positive way, but it's a stronger way. You know,
right?
So that's where I'm at now, you know, with this. So, but yeah, it's been a cool journey, you know. I mean, that's just on that part, not even with the investigations that I started doing.
I got a question. So you were still doing kind of investigations and stuff, and did you ever bring something home that attached to one of your family members? Like your daughter or something?
No, not that I know of back then, because back then I did a lot of the investigating when I was younger, and I didn't even know I was investigating. Like I said, you know, almost all the studies they have. I never learned the terminology of paranormal terminology. You know,
and nowadays, as our kids were growing up, because our kids are around the same age, you know, they had the libraries, the internet, everything that they could, you know, YouTube, and know that they're not crazy and stuff.
Like I said, I didn't know about investigating or paranormal, the words, or you know, psychic or empath, any of these things. You know, I just knew what I know how to do. I didn't know what you called it, and I'm still figuring that out right now. You know, I mean, that's crazy, but that's why I wanted to make a list. You know, I mean, just of things and. But I do know how to do things. I know how to do it. I just didn't know this is what you called it. Put it that way.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Here's a question. Anthony has a question. Anthony Lewis says, what was the hardest thing you learned from your gifts?
The hardest thing that I learned from my gifts was really to like people.
To like people.
Yeah, I'm still working on that one.
Yeah.
Because like I said, from a really young age, when you hear kids, you know, you hear the bullying, but when you hear them in your mind, what they're thinking, that's worse.
Right.
You know, because that's where you're really honest.
Yeah.
You know, so that, and then as you get older too with people, that's why I said I never like to touch. I never like to really shake hands with anybody. I had a hard time in church because, you know, everybody hugs each other.
Yeah.
No.
I couldn't stand that. I mean,
I'm a hugger.
Me too. So, but it depends on who I'm hugging. It depends.
Well, I've been working on it for a while, so I'm getting a lot better. I learned how to block that out now, how to shield myself. You know, how to, instead of do it another way. Now I just, you know, shield myself from all that, so I can work through that. But like in church, I didn't like it. People weren't hugging me because if you hug me, oh man, you were over here with your brother's wife the other night, and you were with your husband. I mean, your brother-in-law
Yeah,
wife.
you felt everything.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. And then you're here with your hands up, looking all holy and everything, and you knew what you were doing last night. And oh my gosh, man, get away from me.
Yeah. Do not touch me. Do not hug me. Walk past me. And I know in church, like, oh, God, I've been to church in ages. But, you do that shaking hands, peace be with you. And everyone shakes hands. And I'm like, I don't want to shake a hand. I think partially that's why I stopped going to church. It's like you have to say, peace be with you. And then people in front of you, behind you, you beside you, you shake hands. And I sit there with my arms folded around my pockets or pretending I'm rummaging through my handbag or whatever, that I don't have to do it. I don't want to do it.
Right. And see, me and Hertz were talking about that yesterday, actually. That because we share the similar experiences as in the church, and when the people do that, they don't realize that they're actually exchanging energy.
Yes.
So that person that's next to you that has all that bad stuff, doing all kinds of bad things behind closed doors, as soon as he touches you, that energy it's going to transfer to you. And actually, what they call laying of hands in the church, that's what that actually is. So they're transferring their energy. So, and then in church they do that. Especially in the mornings. Let's go ahead and greet everyone. So everybody turns to the left, to the right, and shakes hands to the back and front. You know what I mean? So you just got a whole bunch of. I get chills just even right now just talking about it. It's like because I feel it. And it's like you just get all this mixture of gook.
Right.
I mean,
So
on you, muck on you now. And then you're going to leave out of there, and then you're going to start wondering, well, hey, why am I feeling this way? Or go home. And there's many times that from church, we have come home and fought right after church. We fought in the parking lot.
Oh my gosh.
Me and my wife, we got into big arguments in right outside of we just because
still
there in the parking lot.
We had the energy, the negativity.
See, and back then, it's like I said, I never figured that out. I mean, it never dawned on me that why is this happening? Because I never was around it like that. And
you guys watched, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but do you guys watch the news? I can't watch the news, so I mean,
I
looks weather, but I can't watch it.
A little bit, and then I turn it off when I hear too much of the same thing. I'm kind of like, right, I'm done. It's stressing me, it's scaring me, and I'd rather be innocent and not know anything.
Thank you. Me too. How about you, Anthony? Well, he's because my husband's like, do you realize? My husband's like, do you realize this is going on? We could be going to. I'm like, no, I know. You could tell me, if we need to go, we need to go. But I notice a lot of people who are in the paranormal don't watch, or empaths don't watch the news either.
Well, I just went through that with TikTok because I've been on TikTok a lot. I'm trying to take it over now. So, there's so much stuff that's going on right now in the world. There really is with our government, with our president. I mean, you name it, and this stuff is ridiculous. How things have gone now in this time, and what's really happening out there. You got these alien things that's coming. They start to talk about. It's the government. Is it this?
Yeah.
And I got into it so much here with a couple of weeks ago that it finally burnt me out in a way where I started to kind of panic in a way. Like, okay, for one, I live out in the desert. So if something happens, usually like COVID, when COVID hit, it was like New York. It was all the bigger cities that started getting it really bad first. Yeah. So we were way over here in the corner. And so we saw that coming. When the riots happened, when all the riots, they were burning all the cities, taking them over, with Black Lives Matters and all this stuff. Well, it came here later, you see. So I was watching it on the news. So we had a lot more time to prepare for things like that. But here, it started to get to me so much that I had to shut it off. But really what I did was, because also like what the other thing that's happened to me too, is that I've learned, because I'm a portal guy. Is you know, I mean, but me and my forest. I don't know if you heard about that one.
No, but
Yes.
So
tell.
the forest has a big following of its own, and that I discovered, you know, so
Takes you away.
that goes into the parallel universes and quantum jumping.
Oh, what?
So now that's where I'm basically been at here for a while now, and so I just, because I'm constantly jumping.
Oh my God.
I jump
Oh.
parallels. So
I want to know more about that.
you don't have enough time.
I've seen movies on it. And somebody said to me before, if I had anywhere to live in the world, where would I live? And I've always said the forest. I want to live in a forest with no Wi-Fi, or maybe Wi-Fi. Yeah, no Wi-Fi during the week, and maybe just one day at the weekend, so I can check in with people, whatever. But no Wi-Fi, and I can have as many animals as I want.
Yes. Oh my God.
We're moving in together.
I know.
Well, the forest is my favorite place that I go to. I think that's it's one of the reasons why I'm moving from here. I'm moving to San Antonio to be
That's nice
next to the forest there. That particular one. But
you feel like you're more grounded when you're in the mountains, you know, because the trees, the roots, it's a grounding place, and it makes you feel safe. To me, that's because you are grounding. You're connecting with Earth, and the magnets pulling you down and stuff, and you can recharge yourself. Because that's why we like the mountains.
Yeah.
So, do you guys feel the same way like that, or did you not ever think about that?
Yeah, the forest, that forest for me, since we went there, and like I said, we just stumbled into that one. That place there is nuts. I mean, like I've described it. I mean, there's different dimensions. You'll cross over different dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
There's different beings. It's really active. That most of the people don't. Well, hardly anyone goes into that forest, and there's so many.
You were gone for like 30 minutes or an hour, right?
It was 6 hours that we have.
Oh, 6 hours. Okay, yeah.
So we were missing time when we went into the first time, and then this last time I took a Lurker. I don't know if you know Lurker.
I know Lurker.
Yeah, I took Lurker in there. He went with me, and he got to experience the same thing. Because I'm like a tour guide to it now. So, but every time we go in, it's something different. You know what I mean? But that place, that's what I'm saying. That's one that where I started to see that, and then actually got a video of a portal opening and closing during the daytime.
Okay.
You know? So, but that's what I'm saying. That with the TikTok thing, I kind of, because it goes into the Mandela effect. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In which they're connecting that with CERN, because CERN finally popped that atom and it changed this into a different parallel now. This is why we remember things differently than that is written now. You know, like there's movies and stuff with the Mandela effect that, it's true. I mean, I remember it like this, but it's not like that no more. So how did that happen?
Yeah. Why is it changing?
Well, because what they did was that when they popped that atom, you know, with those electrons and neutrons, whatever they did, it threw us into another parallel. They opened that up, and then so this is why people of our generation, we remember certain movies and certain things that they were this way, but they're no longer that way.
Right.
You know, so which is like a quantum jump. And so actually what I just did was I just jumped again to a different parallel where all this junk is not happening.
Wow.
What's happening now, what we see in the news.
I wish I could do something like that.
You can.
How do I do it? Anything I'm out of here, lads. You know, and go somewhere else. Because there's a movie, and I forget the name of it. Back in Time or something like that. I think Back in Time is a dinosaur Disney movie. I don't know. It's another movie it's another movie where he jumps, and like he is married, but the wife is like, oh, he's gone again, you know, and he goes into different dimensions.
I think my son does that too.
Yeah.
Oh, you go to different dimensions?
I seen what else it was. Somebody asked. Oh, somebody had asked if I've been out of my body before.
Anthony Lewis.
Yeah,
Said this.
yeah. That's when I started to astral project, but I was doing that at an early age too. Yeah, astral projection, remote seeing. I mean, there's not very many that I'm not able to do, and I
What?
just don't talk about it. I mean, this is actually here. It's only been a very few podcasts. Maybe this is like the third one, maybe that I
Well,
kind of start to talk about a little bit of it. Even on my podcast, I just started to talk about it a little bit. I never announced
Same
anything
way.
about myself.
Same way.
it's interesting, and it's like something we don't hear often. We really don't hear it often, and it's intriguing.
It's like you'll see me like last night. You know, you saw us all drunk last night. You know, you would never think about these things about me. You know, just saying about myself. I said, but it's just because I just don't reveal them.
I'm just like that. Like,
That's it. Once you astral projection, it opens the door or gateway.
my son was just saying the astral projection and the parallels in the universe, it's endless out there.
I'm looking for. I know Lauren is saying the show I'm thinking of is Quantum Leap. That's definitely one of them, and I actually might start watching that again. But there's a movie. There's a movie where he comes and he's married, but he kind of goes back to his love, and then he keeps changing years and countries and so on. It was a good movie.
But yeah, to the answer to that question, I was projecting. I was in elementary school when I was doing that.
Wow.
And then Donna was asking about the frequencies. I use frequencies to open one of the portals, like actual hertz frequencies.
Wow.
Because I wanted to, and I'm still working on that one because I finally found a device that I can get that can record the frequency of places. Like wherever you're at, it'll record. Everything has a frequency, so it'll show me. It's a device that will show me the frequency of that place, so that I can, when I go back there, and these things start to happen, at that time, I can record that frequency and then duplicate it again to reopen it. And they're actually doing that. I don't know if you ever heard of Skinwalker Ranch.
Yes.
In Utah, that's that show, man. That's the place that I would want to go to anywhere in the world right now. It's Skinwalker Ranch because it's right up my alley. And just right now, they started to use frequency with the natives that live there because that whole thing has portal written all over. It's got designs that the natives back in the day that this is what they would do. This is how they would open the portals using frequencies. So even if you go back to the Hope people or any of the Navajo people, how they're connected with this. So they use drums. They brought in natives that play the drums, and the drums was creating such a frequency that they were able to record it with scientific devices. And it was crazy because I said, this is exactly what I'm doing over there.
With your abilities, sometimes do you scare yourself?
No.
Knowing what you know, or what you can do, you don't scare yourself, or
no, not in the sense. The only thing is like that. It doesn't scare me. I just know now not to do something to someone when they piss me off, especially with all the people in podcasting.
Right.
I think I kind of. I'd like to try it for a few days.
You know, now I just use a different way of binding them. Put it this way, you know what I mean? Instead of me just flat out retaliate and make them see a green light when it's red light. And
I'd like to do something like that. I tried it before with a few friends who knew everything, and I went out and bought everything I needed to get. I know my camera's blurry again, and I don't know if it worked or not. I don't know. I had it in the full moonlight. And I'm sure my delivery men came up and seen this little bowl at the bottom with candles and ashes and paperwork and names in it, and Jenny's front door. Be careful of Jennifer.
Yeah,
throw it from the gate up to my door. Don't enter my garden. But I'd like to do that. I'd like to, try it. I'd like to try it. just to
make somebody see green instead of red.
maybe, yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, you know.
Well, yeah,
I
they're
mean,
gonna die.
well, let me see your hair. That's lovely, and pluck a piece of the hair out. Let me see your shirt. That's
You don't.
lovely. Give me some of your shirt.
You don't
And
even
then,
need that.
do I not? Because then I'm like, you know,
No,
what? I don't need it. So we're gonna talk again after
that's a
this.
low form of witchcraft.
Does your wife have abilities?
Yeah, she's nuts. She has the ability
She
of.
has to be nuts to be married to you.
She has.
I'm
Yeah,
just-
she'll tell you. She has the ability of nuts. But I'm joking. No, she does. She's real. She's real strong. I guess I would say in an empathic way.
Wow. Okay. You know, and that would make sense. And I'm gonna plug your wife. That sounds bad. If you want gemstones, get a hold of his wife. They have their own little store. And like I said this before, when I received towers and gemstones from her, it was such good energy, and I didn't have to, you know, cleanse them because I love the energy that came with them. So right there, see, get a hold of them. I'm pretty sure Anthony will drop the link at one point. But you guys, I'm a big collector, so I'm not going to lie or pull your leg, or you know, I'm not even sponsored by them. But I'm telling you, his wife, amazing. And that's one reason why I asked if she had any abilities. So that would make sense why I got the pure energy from the gemstones.
We were shopping last night. We wanted one.
Yeah, we were.
I want to take the cats as well.
Oh God! When it comes to gemstones,
but we're looking at these movies. Jumper. I don't know which movie, but it will come to me. It will come to me. I don't think it's Jumper. Back in time, I've written that down. I've seen it once, many years ago.
Cherry's a witch.
There you go.
Oh. Anthony, question: has any of friends ever saw you out and about, but you spent the whole day at home? What a brilliant question.
Nice.
For me? Question for me?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, because I hide very well.
Ooh.
That's the same thing that you have to do when you remote see, when you're doing a remote, and especially if you're going to do a remote where there's a dark entity at a place. It's like I did it. Like here, I live in Odessa, and a friend of mine had a client in Austin, which is about 5, 6, 7 hours from here. And so, as we were talking on the phone, because that spirit, what it was is that wasn't that was one of those beings that never was human, but it was a fire starter. And I don't know if you heard of those. They'll start fires.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they had this one that they lived at a house before. It started a fire in their house. It burned the house down. They moved to a new house, and then it followed them there. And then eventually started to catch things on fire there also. So, and then but it would hurt other people that would try to go and help them. You know, what I mean, like one of his partners, it hurt her dog and put her in the hospital. You know, because it started to affect her that way. So I did. As I was talking to him, I said, "Well, hey, you know what? I'll remote and go see." I hadn't done it in a long time. You know, it's been years since I've done it. It was kind of cool for me because I was kind of like, okay, I got a chance to do it again. Let me see if I can still do it. Well, I did. As soon as I started to talk, because I can do it while I'm talking to you right now. I can be right now on this podcast, and I can actually remote right now. I don't have to.
I believe it.
I don't have to go. I don't have to go into a meditation. I'm just saying for myself. I've worked on some of my abilities. I've worked so far past that that I don't.
A lot easier.
Yeah, it's natural for me. I can just do it just like that.
So you could be somewhere else,
like that.
Yeah,
sit here and talk, and we don't know that you've left.
Right. No, I know that. I'll be over there and be here at the same time right now, and I'm still focused on both. You know, I mean, you're seeing this, but I'm over there. But I
He's off partying over in the corner by himself.
I was going to say that's like a mother's job. We are everywhere at one time.
Right.
I'm here. I'm there.
I'm a good multitasker. For a guy, I'm a really good multitasker. I can do a lot of things at the same time. So, but I did, and I saw it, and but I didn't get too close because he was actually talking to me, on the phone, and he says, "Don't get close to it because it's going to follow you back." I said, "Well, I'm going to look at it from far." So I looked at it like from across the street, and I was trying to not let him see me. and I could see it that it was an old being. It was something that wasn't from Texas, from this area, well, from this country actually. It was more something older. You know what I mean? It was older, and it had a contract with these people because their parents had made a contract with a being for certain things. So now he owned the whole generational line. So he actually had legal right to be there. So it was going to take a lot more to banish him because he had the legal contract, that soul contract, put it that way or something.
And here I am doing the basic investigations. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
so, but like he said, well, you're kind of coming in a little loud because he's telling me that he can see you. You know what I mean? And I said, well, I know that he can. I see him, but he can't see me. He goes, no, you're coming in loud. You know what I mean? Because you come in with kind of, we're saying, in a bright energy. You know what I mean?
yes.
So and then he said, you need to back off. You need to back off. Just leave him alone. I said, well, I'm not getting any closer. I just wanted to see what it was. You know, and of course, because that was my first time that I'd done it in 10 years or something. I don't know. It's been a long time. So, but I know that you can come in like that without being seen. So I'm kind of coming in a little loud, I'm stumbling and everything because I haven't done this in a long time, a little rusty. But so that's what I'm saying. But you can do that.
But you would do it again. Yeah, you would do it again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I just don't. I don't do a lot of the things because I'm not. I only use them when I need to. But now I want to start to get back and start to practice all of them.
You should. I would.
That's what I've been doing lately here. Lately, I've been doing that.
It's fascinating.
And some are a little bit tougher than others because it's like over here, see, Anthony says if past, present, and future are side by side, then it's possible to see echoes in time. But yeah, that's called deja vu.
Where's that? Can you see that? Where's that?
It's up there on Anthony Lewis, right over Sherry's.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
Yeah.
Past,
Yeah.
present,
They're deja. That's why you see they get deja vu. You're getting echoes of times that you already been through. So it's your past, sometimes. So that's why with deja vu is when you see something. Like me, I'll get it. I'll nail it now so quick. It's like, dang, I've done this 5 times already, literally 5 times, and I can go back 5 times and see it every time that I was here already. Already done this.
Can anybody do it?
Yeah, everybody can do all this stuff. There's not. Everybody has it. Everybody has it. Everybody has these gifts. We're all born with them. I know a lot of people don't believe that, but they do. It just depends. Like I said, sometimes at a really young age, parents start to shut this down. People that don't believe in anything or nothing like that, no faith, no anything, they shut this down. And then when you start going to school, someone started going to school at 5 years old. Preschool. So school, the conditioning of this society, what it starts to do, it starts to condition you just to be a slave, just to go to work, go to school, get married, have kids, work, and die. That's it. That's the whole plan of this society. That's it. Buy a car, buy a house, and basically, it's like you see down your neighborhood, we're all the same. You know what I mean?
I know.
So that's the reason why most people do not know or believe that they have anything. But everybody experiences something because you can ask anybody, and they'll also tell you, I knew if they did something wrong and ended up in jail or something or a car wreck, I knew I shouldn't have gone. See, your intuition was already telling you that.
Intuition.
And a lot of people don't follow that.
Right. See, so they don't realize that they already have that ability, that prediction. You can predict what's going to happen. You get an idea of what's happening because that's your ability that's telling you that. And like I say, everybody can say that. If they end up in jail, what's the first thing they say? I knew I shouldn't have came out. I knew something bad was going to happen. Totally. Everybody can share that one story right there. Yeah. But that's what that is.
People are thinking, is it a good guess? Is it your gut feeling? I go with my gut feeling. It gets me into trouble still. Yeah. Sometimes it still gets me into trouble, or sometimes it's wrong, and that's understandable. It's fine. But that's it. Intuition. I I have that too, and I'm beginning to believe it more, and I don't doubt it, and I go with it, even if it's not right for someone else. If it's not making me happy or anything like that, I go with my intuition, and I don't kind of like second guess it anymore the way I used to.
Right.
I'm kind of like, well,
And see, that's what I'm saying. Or you hear that little voice in your head. Someone can hear the voice and say, like, don't do it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And you think you're talking to yourself, but you're not talking to yourself. It's not you talking. It's you're hearing the voice, your guide, or whatever you want to call it, that's talking to you. But you take it as it's you. Sometimes it is you, but you learn to distinguish which one is you and which one is your. See, but we all have that. So no one on this planet can say, I don't have gifts. Yes, you do. You have them. You just didn't know, or you don't know what you have. And you need a mentor to start showing you what you have, and a good mentor, not the freaky ones. You know what I mean? And so we all have it. It's just like I said, just with like with myself, I didn't have that dowsing part of it. It just grew.
Right.
It just grew into it. By the time I was, already in school, I was already getting up there really fast.
I can't remember what it's called, but I'll give you a story and tell me if any one of you have ever experienced something like this. So my husband and I, my daughter and her best friend, we were driving to a football game where my son was at. And where we had to go, we were like right in the middle of, dinner traffic and stuff. And we were on a 3-lane highway going over a bridge. And I was next to the water. And all of a sudden coming around, everybody was doing like 60, 70. And we just come up on this corner, okay? And I had like 3 choices. Go off into the river, which, no, we don't want to do that. Rear end the people in front of me. Or pull out into traffic. Okay, so I chose to pull out into traffic, and we all screamed. But it was like there was an opening. Okay, so there was that. Well, the next day, one of my sons calls me, and he goes, Mom, I had a really bad dream, and he didn't know what was going on. He woke up because he was sleeping, and he woke up screaming, and he goes, I had a really bad nightmare that you guys went off into the river. And so it was almost like he screamed when we screamed. We threw that energy, I guess. I don't know what it's called, but I had to explain to him because then I was like, who was driving? And he goes, Dad was. I'm like, okay, that's crazy because I was driving, but he felt all of that energy and all of the scream. He knew who was in the car. So has any of you ever felt that or had a connection like that, be in different places? Premonition, shared dream. We weren't dreaming, though. We were literally driving. And when I pulled into traffic, everybody in the car screamed. We just, how when you think you're going to get hit, you clench. We're like, ah!
Yeah.
The next day he called me because he wasn't even at home. Next day he called me because he knew we were at a game. We were going to be there late and said he woke up screaming. And that's what he saw at the same time.
Wow.
Oh, echo time. Okay. Have you done that with any of your kids, Anthony?
I'm muted myself. It's because I was vaping.
Oh,
yeah, no. When I'm sleeping, because I sleep weird, because my body's the only one that needs rest. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Physical, but I'm still awake. Because I can still see. Actually, I always tell my wife that I'm more deadly when I'm sleeping than when I'm awake.
Yeah.
Because I'm out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm released. I shut down this in the brain, the physical brain, the thinking and all that. I have woken up where I literally feel the pain like that. Like I'll get up like you did, like that, because either I saw that I hit something or something like you're saying. And I feel it. I mean, that I have to snap myself out of it, because, yeah. And then Anthony has a lot of questions over here.
Yeah,
I'm trying to catch up to him because he has another one here. Can you jump and let us know what the lotto numbers are?
Oh, I think that was
actually, I'm on it.
Oh.
I never played the lotto. I've never played the lotto. I'm not a gambler.
Wow.
That's crazy. I'm not a gambler. But yeah, I started to just Just this one's for tonight, actually.
That's funny now
for
that
Wow.
So tomorrow I will be in Ireland.
come over to Ireland.
Just don't
Hey
sue
man,
me.
what's up?
So yeah, I'm working on it. And actually, you know what? This is no joke. I'm not BSing. Back when I was like 22, 23, I actually got the lotto numbers.
Wow.
I got them, but the thing is that thing I got them. I asked a friend to go buy it for me, and he didn't buy it.
Oh, look at the baby. He didn't.
No.
Oh God.
And it was back when I was in my 20s. Actually, I did when the lotto first came out. When it first came out, I hit it. I hit the lotto.
Oh my God.
And I told him here's
Nice.
I go here's $1 because it was $1. I said go buy me the lotto ticket, and then he forgot.
He didn't do it.
But I did hit it. That's so I'm trying to get it again.
Cry.
Well,
Cry.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Look at that face. Oh, your mother.
Oh, this is Lily. Hi, Lily. Hey, hi.
Oh, Lily. Oh, she's gorgeous. Mine too are just being crazy tonight. Crazy. And they could be sleeping all day. And now you can hear them going crazy. There was something I was going to ask Sherry. Where are you, Miss Sherry? Sherry saying, I'm the one who was excited when you said you were coming to London, as I'm 2 hours away. I'm an investigator. Sherry, we're going to be in London on the 18th of August until the 20th. If you want to meet up with us, if you want to do the tour with us, with Russell Edwards, you are more than welcome to come, and we'll catch up and I'll give you all the details, and then we'll do an investigation after that. There's more questions down here. From Sherry, can you live premonition, meaning not sleeping?
Live premonition. That when we were talking about, I was asking
Live. Sorry.
Yeah, if anybody had ever felt, because I didn't know what it was called because my son, and so a lot of people was answering me on that, and I was wondering if either one of you had something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. When I wake up like that,
right
out of it. There's a lot of good questions in here.
Good. I didn't have any experiences like that. Maybe, and I've kind of looked it up before about my doorbell ringing, but there's nobody there, and it rings. I was going to say 3 times sometimes, but the dogs go crazy, and I'm up in 2 seconds, or I can look through my video doorbell within seconds. There's nobody at my door. My gates are steel, so you'll hear them open and closing. My dogs were barking nonstop, and the doorbell rings because I hear it. I'm not dreaming it because the dogs are going crazy. So I don't know. Things like that. It's happened a few times. It's supposed to mean a visitor. I'm not too sure. What that means, but it hasn't happened in a while. I'm looking here for questions.
You got a big Facebook user one.
Is that Lauren? Is that Miss Lauren? Let me go and check.
I don't know if she's meaning I was watching it live on Haunted Dolls, and the owner wanted to know
Lauren.
You was attracted. So I don't know if it's for me because I did have that big experience with the dolls, and one of them did drown.
Oh,
yes.
I don't know if she was talking about, and I did have the podcast on my podcast on that one. So I don't know if she's talking about that one or another one.
Is that the one, Lauren?
And then yes, have you ever had time slow down? Yes, I do it all the time. Mm-hmm. That's funny, right? I do it all the time.
You're reading these quicker than me.
You actually can. What's up, Matt? And you actually can. You can slow it down or fast forward it.
You
can stop it.
You can slow time down. You can fast forward time, or you can stop time.
Mm-hmm. That's where quantum jumping comes from.
I'm going to watch a lot of quantum jumping tonight now, and I'm going to train myself to quantum leap. So could you say you're thinking if you could quantum leap, you could talk to people wherever you go to?
Well, it's parallels. So, it's
more about this.
Just like when we came back from the forest, we jumped in there and we didn't know we did. Well, because when we were trying to come out and we were lost in there, which we couldn't get lost, it's impossible to get lost. It's kind of like getting lost in your house. How are you going to get lost in your house when you've been here for years? You can see your whole house in your mind. You can practically, well, you can blindfold yourself and walk through your house. That's what I mean. That was just like that. So how could we get lost? There was no way of getting lost, but we were. And then when the forest changed, it literally changed. When we were trying to come up from one gateway and we crossed over back, the whole forest had rearranged itself. Landmarks that were in there were on the opposite side now, or they weren't there. And, that was the very first time we went in. And then when we came back home, the town was different. It's never been the same for us. We actually have shirts that say in the back, once you go in, you don't come out the same. When we were coming into town, I started telling my son, I said, there's something different. Why does this look different? I mean, I've lived here for 23 years. I know what this place looks like. There's not very much, but it was different. And even when we came home, my wife was the first one that said about a couple of days later, she messaged me in the morning. And I was going to work at 4:30 in the morning, and I was trying to deal with it. I hadn't said anything to her, and she told me in the text, she goes, I don't know what you did or what happened, but you're not the same, and this place is not the same. And she's not into anything of this. She's not really into. She started to, but she's not into like I am. You know what I mean? So for her to say something like that to me was like just a loud bell, you know what I mean? And I actually texted her. She told me, she messaged me in the morning like that right when I got to work. It was about 4:30 in the morning, and I was just not dealing with that, you know what I mean? Because it was only a couple of days after, and she said, "You're not the same. There's something wrong. You're not the same. This place is not the same. Put it back."
Oh my God!
Wow.
Just like a mom or a wife, put it back. And that's like, I said, well, let me. And so when she said that, I was actually sitting in my personal truck still.
Hey, Debbie.
Complicating what's going on. I'm trying to figure this out because I knew I wasn't the same either, and I knew that this exactly what she said. This is not the same place. What happened? And then when she messaged me that out of the blue in the morning, it just clicked. I mean, when she said, put it back. And then, so I said, okay, give me 5 minutes. Let me see what I can do.
Give me 5 minutes.
But we've never been the same after that, actually there's, I've been investigating that place for almost 3 years now. I've been there my 10th time, but from that first time to now, of course, I've acquired a lot of information, done a ton of research on the land. So it's all making sense more and more. And what actually was happening there was happening to us. Some of my team left because of it, because they couldn't deal with that one. That was too much. So they had their own experiences that they couldn't deal with.
Is it scary for others to jump?
It was 4 of us. But it was 4 of us, but only 3 of us did it.
Okay.
One of them stood behind because he freaked out in there.
Yeah, it's just is it scary? Is it, I don't know.
Well, because in there's a lot of different beings, even down to that I still believe that I didn't believe in UFOs. I didn't believe in Bigfoot. I didn't believe in all those things. I mean, there were cool stories and stuff, but the abduction thing. So to me now, when I tell this, it's not just a story because it's still an ongoing investigation. You know, right. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Now I know when I used to hear people say like, well, a spaceship came and landed back here or whatever, or these great things took me into the ship. I listened to it. I like sci-fi, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I never really, like, okay, I'm buying into this, that's your thing. Okay, that's cool. Never thought about it again. Well, now I feel like I'm an abductee telling a story because what's happened to us in there is so far out. You know what I mean? That it just, even with me, sometimes I still struggle. Sometimes, like, are you sure? Yeah, you're sure. Like, I don't want to believe it, but it did happen. And so that's, so I mean, that's the experiences in there. Either you're gonna. I always say this: you're either three things are gonna happen. You're gonna lose your mind. You're gonna run out of there, or you're not coming back because you're not gonna find your way back through the gateways again.
God.
Do you think, because you mentioned Bigfoot, okay? Do you think maybe this is why a lot of people, Bigfoot is notorious for playing good hide and go seek, and we don't see him? Do you think Bigfoot may do that too?
Because he's an interdimensional being, and he knows how to go through those portals. That's why he never gets caught. That's why Hertz hasn't seen anything yet.
I was going to ask you as well. When
See, and what's nuts about that place is that too that I know I'm jumping around, but
No, that's okay.
like I said, that's a big deal, big thing on there. There's one part in that forest that goes in the trail, and from one side of the trail, just say like your sidewalk, and you got most of our houses, we have a sidewalk in front of our house going straight out from our door, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you go straight across the street, normally you have the house across the street, kind of almost leading that, parallel to your door. So
Right.
it's like, so if you could actually walk out of your door, walk across the streets in a straight line, and walk into their house through this door, you know what I mean? It's just like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a place in there. There's a spot in there that when we first went in there, 4 other people that were there, they saw us. They said, "Hey, they actually came up to us and said, hey, y'all are paranormal investigators or what?" Because they saw equipment. I said, "Yeah, this is what I do." Told them my name. Goes, "Oh yeah, we seen you on TV. They seen me somewhere." And then I said, "Can we go in there with y'all?" And I said, "Yeah, y'all can go in." It was the husband and wife, their friend, and their nephew. And their nephew was young, kind of like your like Emmy's. He was young like that,
My son Ozzy.
right? And they went in with us. Well, the husband got possessed. The nephew got possessed. The friend was more in these abilities, but he ended up got taken over by the darker entity that was in there. And the girl, the wife, she almost lost her mind in there. She really did, and I have it on video too. And 'cause
Wow.
I'm gonna film you. You know me,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
notorious for that. And but the friend that went in, he went into the forest off the trail, and you could hear him start to growl. And now they're making fun of this stuff because we could hear like owls, and we could hear other things
Right.
that normally are not there. But we heard a lot of different noises started happening. The atmosphere changed. I knew that we had crossed over somewhere, but that was my first time in there. We didn't even go there to investigate. We just went there just to go do
Those hers
something.
right there.
Yeah,
Did you feel a temperature change, or
Yeah.
did the temperature drop?
I actually have it on video where you couldn't hear. I could feel it when we crossed through the first gateway. That one of my members had to put his hand behind me and hold me up because I was being pushed back.
Wow.
And it felt like I started walking in the ocean, like when you're walking in the water.
So it was like a heavier feeling
Yeah.
when you're going in.
Yeah, like it was pushing me back, like when you're driving,
Wow.
it was dragging me back. So he was holding me from behind, and I could see when we crossed through. I didn't hear it when we crossed through, but in the video, when we went back and watched it, you could hear a loud, like a waterfall, like.
Oh wow.
And then you hear it when we cross, and then you hear, and then it stops. So it's kind of like we crossed through something. Like if you were
Yeah.
to go through a waterfall, you know what I mean, and then cross out, and
Wow.
you can hear it in the video. And then he went into the left, and that's when we started. Once we did that, I knew we were somewhere else. And then he started to go. He went into the one on the left, the English horse on the left. You could hear him start to growl. I don't know, something happened to him that when he came back, he was different.
Wow.
And then right across from there, that's where one of my other members and the other person that 2 of my members saw an apparition appear right there on the right side. It was a lady. I didn't see her because I was dealing with the other lady because she was losing her mind. She was getting hysterical because she kept saying everything's around us. They're coming around. They're gonna get us. They're gonna get us. And I was trying to calm her down, but she was good bait for filming, so I kind of kept her there.
Content.
Sorry. That's what happens if you go out with Wraith hunters. You know, we use as
Hey,
bait.
I would go. I'd be the first one going in.
Do it. That's what it's all about.
Do you think when, like, or you can probably answer this. So when you go in there and you talked about losing time and stuff like that, do you think that portion of losing time affects your mind?
Yeah, because
Maybe?
we came back. We were like, I tell you, it's different. It's not just your mind; it's your abilities. Because it's gonna, like I said, you're either gonna come out, you're gonna lose your mind, you're gonna not come back, or that's right. You're not. I'm still trying to think about it.
You're not coming back in the right mind.
When you go in there, three things are gonna happen. You're gonna either run out of there, you're gonna was four. You think you're gonna run out of there, you're gonna lose your mind, or you're not gonna come back. But if you can handle what's in there, it's gonna challenge every ability that you have.
Wow. Okay.
And you're gonna get downloaded that you're gonna come
I
out
want
of
to
there.
go.
You're gonna come out of there even stronger than what you were. Or even find out other abilities that you had that you didn't know.
So
I'm intrigued by it.
What happens if, say, you said the three things? What was it? You can come back?
Well, you're either going to lose your mind, you're not going to come back because you're not going to find your way back. You're going to get stuck in another parallel.
So you're not. So say when you leap to when you go to this other place, is your body still here? So what happens if you don't come back?
You don't come back. You stay stuck in there. And if you ever get Lurker on his show, he actually experienced that. He's seen the whole thing change. When he was there this last time. That's why with me, I always challenge people to go into that place. I'm not one that holds that place. It's an awesome place, and I would love for it to be just mine. But it's not going to give me anything because other people, are not going to validate what I'm talking about. So there's been actually another paranormal investigator that went there during the day that's well known, and he experienced those things. You know, he was only at the edge. He really didn't go further in and really get the full thing about it. You know, and
has anybody? I didn't mean to cut you off, but wait, Green, I got fibro fog, and I got to ask a question. Has anybody gone in but never felt that they were like, "Hey, this is just a regular place"? Like, you know, they didn't feel nothing shift or anything.
Not with us. If they go in with me, I'll show them. I can show them the different dimensions. You'll see them. I mean, you can see it how it appears and disappears.
Okay.
But they won't go back.
I want to go.
But what I was talking about, that one spot is where that lady appeared to my other two members, that apparition. There's another trail that goes to the right side into the forest. And then, so when I went back and I was reviewing the footage, and then here lately, there was markings on the ground that represented time. I don't know how they appear. I don't know. It was spray painted. Wow. Somebody spray painted, almost like sigils. It's actually a symbol of time. They're triangles, and it represents past, present, and future. So to me, it's kind of ironic that this place has now a symbol on the ground in the place where you got these two doors on each side. Just saying, you know, and this symbol represents time, and it represents past, present, and future. So is it that you're jumping from the past to the present to the future, you know, like this back and forth? So whatever came, and then when that investigator, like I said, he's a well-known investigator. He went in there. He just did it we did it in February, this past February, and I was watching his live, and he was there, and then he saw something cross the road right there with that little trail, and it was dark. He said, I saw it. I don't know what it is, but something just crossed across the road, the trail. Well, that's that very faint spot. Now, that's one of the portals. That's just one. And but when we went back this last time, we went back there because I already had gotten something from there, and that something comes out from this doorway, crosses the trail, and then goes into the other doorway where that apparition was, because that's another door. and that's where most people see that apparition. But the picture that I got is this one. It's in the ground.
Oh wow. I was going to ask, have like you and your team or you and other people, have you gone in at the same time? Then all of a sudden you looked around and they're not with you? Like you all went into a different dimension? Had that ever happened? Maybe.
Well, we started doing that. We started separating.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it took me 2 years. Was it not 2 years? Yeah. I think it was a year and a half or 2 years to find the same place that we crossed over the first time, because it keeps changing.
And you don't have the same time. So say you all separate and you all have the same time.
Well, it's only two of us now, because me and my son we were actually the ones that crossed the most the very first time. So there's something like we created a relationship with this place in a way. It's weird because there's still a native story that goes with it that's connected to my bloodline.
Every time you go through there, do your gifts heighten?
Yeah.
More?
Yeah, every time we go back, I come back a little bit dumber. No, I mean,
oh no, man. I believe it. No.
I come back in a coma, like her says.
Yeah.
How about like, have you gone in if there was a thunderstorm getting ready to happen? Because thunderstorms heighten a lot of stuff, the electricity in the air.
Because I started to like I said, the first time we went in, after through this, we've been there 10 times. Through some of those times, I started really getting into heavy in the research of the land. It goes, it dates back 10,000 years of the natives when they were there, which they, I mean, this is awesome. I mean, it all started to connect, and I started to even to try to reenact the first time that we went into the moon cycle. What I remember the date and time that we were there, and so I looked it up and looked back at what lunar time was that.
Yeah.
So that we could recreate that same time, same moon, same day. And the only thing that we get close to it is the time. For some reason, it's 11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
At 11 o'clock at night, that's when things start to open up. Now, it does happen during the day now, because now I've been able to connect my frequency with it so good that I can open these up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still at 11 at night. That's when everything starts to really open up for this place for some reason. But we hear native drums.
Wow.
We've heard. I have recordings of drums beats. Women crying. Like I said, there's another part of this that started the story that started coming out of it was native, but that native is that land. I'm connected to that land.
How many times did you say you went back? 10 times?
Yeah. We just went. Maybe I just went there maybe like 5 months ago, 4 months ago, something like that. That was my 10th time.
Is there anyway? 2 questions I have for you. Have you ever met another person there that does what you do?
Well, we met on the second time we went back, which is these are on YouTube. Some of these videos are on YouTube. There we met a hiker in there, and that's actually that video is called The Hiker on YouTube. And it's because we were looking for a house. It's because we go into that forest about 6 miles into that forest at night with no flashlights, because I don't use flashlights unless we have to do it or whatever, but I don't. And because I can see better in the dark. I don't like light. I don't even like light out here. And we met a guy in there. He was walking on the trail, and I just stopped him and asked him, this is what's crazy. This is part of what's going on in there, because I just happened just to stop him, and I said, hey, have you ever been, how far back have you gone? He goes, I've gone all the way in there, because he's from San Antonio. So I said, there's a house that we were looking for. He goes, yeah, that house is about 6 miles in there. So you have to go 6 miles, and you can't miss it. He goes, it's in there's a big 2-story house. And then I said, so then I told him, he saw our cameras and stuff, and he says, okay, so what do y'all do? I said, well, we're paranormal investigators. This is my team and everything. We started talking, and then before you know it, he starts telling me, asking, "Have you ever seen anything here?" He goes, "Oh man." He starts talking about Bigfoot. That there's a
What?
Sasquatch. He called it he didn't call it a Bigfoot. That's the reason why I showed you those prints.
Holy crap!
And this is, like I said, I've never really bought into the Bigfoot UFO kind of thing. And then he starts telling us about, he called it a stamina. He didn't call it a Bigfoot. And then
Crazy. Teresa, we can't see you. Sorry. We'll listen. We're going through the questions, but we can't see you. Sorry.
and so he called it a stamina, and he starts showing us, because the trees in there, they're broken, like the big trees are broken like this. Yeah, and then so he started, and actually right there we were at. If you go to that video, you can see it. It shows the big trees broken like that, because that's what they break to mark their territory, or this is where they camp out. Right, and then and he starts telling us this experience that he's had in there, and then he starts telling us more about I guess the Sasquatch. I really don't like the name Bigfoot. It sounds so fake, like a comedy. Bigfoot. Come on. All right. Sasquatch statement that sounds more real. But so
it's a mouthful for me to say. Say it again.
Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Sasquatch.
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 Yeah. Fuck you.
Sasquatch. Sasquatch.
So funny.
Yeah.
I did so good.
Like I said, the different beings are elementals. There's all kinds. There's everything in there. So this is what you're dealing with, because it's coming from the native side, so it's connected to the land. See what I mean?
Yes, Teresa. This is live. We are seeing your comments, but right now, we were kind of behind, because asking Anthony questions and getting all caught up in everything he's saying and teaching us and stuff. So yeah, she'll get to your comments. Sorry.
There's a lot of them in there right now.
I'm scrolling off them.
Yeah.
One more question from here before I go on the panel here. When I'm going to be looking at the YouTube later to have a look at this. Another thing is, if you were going, instead of just recording it and going in, like traveling, do a live. Is it possible to do a live and pick us there with you live?
I did on the last one. This last one that I did 2 lives actually out of there, but this last one that I did was really good. That one.
Oh my god!
Well, no, I did a live before the Global Ghost Hunt. That one was big. That's when I got That's when I went in for my bone.
Yeah. Oh, I want to.
This bone came from the forest.
Yes, and a feather.
Yeah, the feather too. The feather was the first one, and then the bone, and then I got the rock. I have all. It's because I'm also too on a shamanic journey, and that place is helping me on that shamanic journey.
Oh, that's creepy. I
know.
You see, because the feather was the first one that was given to me. It represents air.
Right.
And this one has a lot of power on it. This one will make you levitate.
So Lauren says, so since you can quantum leap, can you see how and when you will die?
Yeah, no, that one
That's creepy, huh? I don't think I can do that.
It's not that it scares me. I just know that I'm going to live a long time. It's actually kind of sad.
Would you want to see? Want to see it?
It's kind of sad because I don't like to think about it. Because the only reason why I don't like to think about it is like we were talking about vampires one time, or being immortal. That it sounds cool, but you can never be in love again.
Right.
I mean, you can't have kids anymore because you're going to go through that same pain of burying your kids over and over and over. You know what I mean?
Who wants to live forever?
Yeah.
It's like Freddie Mercury says, who wants to live forever? Who does?
So, like I said, the first one was the feather, and that's for air. And then I got the rock, which the rock has the hagstone. It's the hagstone. See, it's got the hole.
Yep, hagstone. Yep.
So that's made out of water. So this one represents water. I got that one, and then the bone I had to work for. That was like a 5-hour live that I did in there. The bone I had to get that, which represents earth.
Okay.
And then the one that I was eluding me was the fire. and I couldn't figure out what is fire, what represents fire, like actual fire to make these four things work, these four elements work.
Right.
And if I then I've spoken to somebody, and then I finally got it what the fire was, and I've had that one. That's actually the first one that I had, and I've had it this whole time right in front of me. It was actually this one.
Oh, it's labradite.
Yes,
It's a palm stone.
it's called the Firestone.
Oh my gosh.
And the thing about it is this one, you can't see it there. I got a pictures of it where you can see a dragon in it.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
But I've seen the dragon because I got this at a mineral show, and they called to me just like Emmy says. This one called to me at a mineral show, and when I brought it home, I actually have pictures of it where you can see the dragon in it.
That's cool.
Nice.
So there's the fire. So now I have all four. So when I go back to the forest this time, we're gonna I took the other three this last time. I did a ceremony in there because the guy was telling me that this is the thing about the guy was when he starts telling us all these stories about what he's experienced in there, and then later on, I like I said, you can go and watch that one. I went back. I stayed in contact with him because he carried a backpack, and then I was just curious about it because here comes my abilities. What do you got in that backpack?
Very true, Sherry. Very true.
Because I think yeah. Because I said I think you got something in that backpack, but I didn't want to ask him then because I just met him. But then after I started talking to him on the phone later on, I asked him. I said, "Say, so what do you got? Let me ask you something. What do you carry in that backpack?" I said, "Do you do offerings in that forest?" He says, "Yes, I do offerings in there. Yeah, I do offerings to the stamina."
Yeah.
I said, "So do you take wine?" He goes, "Yes, I have wine, I have bread, and I have tobacco in the back."
Yep.
And I go into the forest and I make a
Wow, nice.
I never thought about the wine. I've taken fruit and tobacco.
Because I do an offering in there. So to me, and then I found out that he's actually active in the Air Force.
Oh,
Wow.
So now after that, I started to watch a lot of the other shows on Bigfoot, that come on TV.
yes.
They show actual
Sasquatch.
Yeah, they show Sasquatch. They actually have like real audio. This is real stuff that they're showing. It's not just this is documentaries. Because there's a whistle that they've talked about, but that whistle, we heard it the very first time we were in there, and we hear it every time, and it follows you. And then on YouTube, there's other people that go into the forest, and they're not even doing investigations or nothing, and then they come out, record this whistle that keeps following them in there,
We'll have to do a show on
And then
Sasquatch and
so
stuff,
to me,
yeah.
it's when I first heard that whistle, the actual recording. It was somewhere in Ohio or something, one of those other forests that these hunters went into. I said, I know what that is because I have it recorded. I have recordings that you can hear everything.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that whistle follows us in there from the very first time. So here I'm starting to connect the dots through these other, information that
Have
I'm
you
getting.
heard the hitting of the wood, the tree
Well, I
limbs
started
and
to
stuff?
do that. I started to hit the wood this last time, But this last time we got it, I got even more. Lurker was there, and
Nice.
but what I'm saying is that so here you got a guy who's in the Air Force. He's active, and of course, when it comes to the UFOs and anything with Sasquatch, the government is right in there. Either the government comes in and takes over the land and makes it federal land. Now nobody can go in there.
Right.
Just, you know what I mean? If you ever notice, the government is always in these things.
Mm.
Okay, so now you have a guy that I just met. He's doing offerings to the Sasquatch. We had no idea what he's doing, and then he's also active in the Air Force and he's government. So what kind of and then when you're in the Air Force in the military, one of the things that they look at is if you start talking about certain things, they'll kick you out because they're gonna their way of having the soldiers is different. They have to be perfect mentalities.
Yep.
Not weird. Okay, so you got a guy here who's active military in the Air Force base out of San Antonio. He's in here on his time off to say that he's in here doing offerings to a Sasquatch or Bigfoot.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, to me, I started thinking this is getting kind of deep now. So it's kind of like maybe he's not here on his time off. Maybe he's um he's sent here. He's on a mission here to investigate this place that they know that there's a interdimensional
Like
being.
an undercover person.
And
Yeah.
he's out there doing this investigation because he started to ask us questions, but he's talking to us like this. But when I went back and I reviewed that video that's
Yeah.
on that is on YouTube, I started listening to him, and he's really good at it on the way he starts to interrogate us. That's
Oh,
actually what he's doing. But remember, because their FBI and all that stuff, they're taught very well on how to speak to people and get information out.
Right.
And you can hear it,
Interrogate.
yeah, and you can hear it when you catch on to it. It's like this guy flipped it around on me, and he's actually asking us, and he's trying to find out more information about this. And I've had other people that are there. I have a friend who was in the what do you call that? That national terrorist. Um, he's the one that he worked for the government in the terrorist side. Homeland Security.
Okay.
So
I don't know, probably.
well, Homeland Security. They're the ones who really get into all this stuff. You know what I mean? So he knows. So I showed it to him. He says, "Yeah, that dude was investigating you. I mean, he was actually interrogating you. You know, and so here you. So I mean, so this just started getting even deeper now. Like, what did we stumble into? Here we stumbled into the first place. We just crossed these places. We come back. We're different. We saw all kinds of things in there, you know, and then now we come back the second time. We run into this one guy. Of all chances, run into this guy, and he has pictures that he was showing us that he has gotten. He's explaining all these things. He's Air Force. He's government. He's there, and he's doing offerings to this thing.
Question, you know, because could he like Men in Black? You know how they can do the zappy thingy, and you know, do you think he may have done that to you at one point? I mean, because with your gifts, you would think you would have felt him there or something.
Well,
do you think he erased some of that, or
no? I mean, we've had stuff erased off for like our equipment. Sometimes it doesn't work. The lives happen to work that one time, and they're on Facebook too. A couple more on Facebook. Actually, the portal one's on Facebook. You can see that one.
Is it for what I find in your videos?
Yeah, you can see it. You'll see it. I'm using a frequency to open it though on that one. I found a frequency that we figured out a frequency that would work on it. And but some of our footage does get erased, or audio gets erased. Like certain conversations that we were having, when we go back, I've gone back and played it. It's gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
So it's weird. I don't understand that one right there, how that happened. But
how did that happen?
But we get. But like I said, that
how does audio erase itself? We have that in our audio too, and it's like it's just one of the best pieces.
Gone.
And they're gone.
Yeah.
You listen to it, and then you're like, oh my god, come and listen to this. You're gonna play it, and it's nothing, and you just heard it.
And it's probably the best, and it's crazy, and we're so annoyed with it, but it's there, and we just don't know.
Yeah, and then all of this that I'm talking about, this was 2 years ago. We've been there already.
So that was current.
8 more times. That's what I'm saying. This is just the beginning of this journey.
How did you know about this force? Did it like call for you?
No,
did you hear it from other people?
No, because we went to San Antonio, because my son, he's a music artist. And so he was having a show down there. He's a music artist / paranormal investigator. So we went to go do a show down there, and then we got out about 10 o'clock or something like that. It was before 11. It was 10 o'clock, something like that. We had ended the show. And then so we're in San Antonio, a bunch of just 4 of us guys. We're
boys.
One man and 3 young guys. I guess I'm a kid too. So 4 kids away from mom and dad and the wife. We're in San Antonio. Hey, well, let's go do something. So then I said, let's go find something to do. and like I didn't have any equipment with it. All I had was one camera because I was filming the show, and then I just started. Let's go find somewhere haunted because I already know San Antonio's. It's got a lot of haunted places. So so I just Googled and I found this place. It's called Donkey Lady Bridge. That's actually what it's called. And because there's a bridge that you have to cross over. You know, you walk over the bridge, and so there's a river underneath, which is a conductor.
You feel the energy when you walk over?
Yeah, because the river has a story in this too. Because when we first went in there, I'll try to say it real quick. We first went in there, the river was flowing from right to left, and then
it changed.
And then when we came out that night, I didn't notice it, but we went back a month later, and the river was flowing from left to right.
Almost like a mirror effect.
Yes.
So and then I actually found a 12-year-old video of that place on YouTube where it actually showed the river going from right to left.
Yeah.
But now it's from left to right. So see, we changed. We jumped somewhere.
Oh, is there limestone? Is there a lot of limestone there too?
They have limestone quarries there.
See, so you've got your water, the limestone.
Yeah, they have quarries where they dig, where they have machinery where they're digging out all the limestone from not too far from there. So, but see how the river changed, and rivers don't change directions.
No, not even during the flood. So because like you came out backwards.
Yeah, because see, the thing is for me, and the way that caught my attention was because I remember that first night when we finally came out, and the husband and the nephew came out because they froze in there and they were frozen. So I just said, okay, I'm just going to leave you here. And I kept telling them, you need to come get your wife because she's fixing to lose her mind. They were just squatting, frozen, and they were glowing. They were like glowing, and so
their aura or something.
Yeah, and the wife, but they weren't listening. They were frozen. They were just frozen. They were here laughing, making fun of everything 1 minute, and the next thing you know, they're just sitting on the ground.
Frozen time.
Yeah. And then the wife was losing her mind, and I told her, just calm down. And then, so I went and told the husband, I said, hey, you need to come get your wife out because she's losing it. And he wouldn't respond. He wouldn't respond to me. So I told him again, you need to get your wife out, man, dude. She's fixing to lose it because it's pitch black dark. And he didn't respond. So I said, okay, I don't know what's going on with these two guys, but somebody already took them over. Let me get her out because we're 4 Mexicans with 4 white people in here. And
that don't look good.
we're in the forest and this white lady just losing her mind. So yeah, we don't need this. So I said, so let me get her out. So I told her, let's just get out. They're going to follow. Goes, what about my husband and my nephew? He goes, they'll follow us. And so I didn't tell her they were gone. Yeah. And then so we came out of the forest, and then they start walking out. But when they're walking out, we're waiting for them at the bridge because the river's right underneath. The bridge is right, and they walked out towards us on the bridge, and they walked right by us like they were in another zone. And they jumped over the railing. And when they jumped, they were like cats. I mean, they were accurate. Like, how a cat can jump and just perfectly land? Well, they jumped over the railing and landed right there. And then they were just sitting looking down the river. And so I'm watching. I was like, what's wrong with these people, man? I mean, how did they even do that? How did they even stand in there? They're going to fall. And I kept thinking, if they fall in the river's going to take them that way around the curve because you could see the river there was curve. That's how I remembered that the river was going from right to left because I could see them. If they fall, they're going to go that way and they're going to go around the curve and they're going to drown and we're not going to see
around the bend of it. Wow.
Right. So that's how it stayed in my mind that the river was flowing from right to left. Well, when we went back a month later and I noticed that, wait a minute, there's something different here. Why is the river going that way now? Because I remember if they would have fell, they would have went that way. And that's when I noticed that. So that's when it came to me, okay, then I started to add to it because we're just now it's just starting to happen that we did come out in a different time or a different parallel because now the river's still the way. So that happened the first time we went in. And then like I said, then other stuff happened on that time. And then we came back. And then I started digging around some more, and then I found like a 10-year-old video of that place. Nothing to do with the legend. You know, it's
I was gonna say, it makes you wonder why is there that big gap of no other videos, and
there's
you had
not.
to go back 10 years.
Yeah, there's not.
Stuff maybe the government erased it, or
I don't know.
it just makes you wonder.
Yeah, I mean, the only videos that are on there are off the bridge. You know, people going. But I just kept looking and looking, and I finally just found one, and it said 10 years ago. So it was a 10-year-old video, and
Wow.
then you could see it for a minute of the river going the other way.
Is there somebody in your house, Jen? I just saw a shadow.
Yeah, that's my daughter. She came in to pick up the cat.
Okay. I just saw the shadow. That was it. I was just like,
that area of that house, of this house, everybody, when we're doing lives, everyone's like, Jenny, there's someone behind you. This door, there's something from this door. And, you know, and going, you know, buy here and buy me and whatnot. But, you know, I always say, put the kettle on first thing in the morning so I can have my cup of tea. I'm living rent free in my house. Put the kettle on. Earn your keep. If there is something. But my daughter came down to put the cat out.
okay. Well, I just saw a shadow. I didn't see like an actual human. I was like,
no, it was not that exciting. It was just my daughter.
Okay, Anthony, continue. I'm sorry.
Well, like I said, that's just the beginning of it. I mean, you know, now of course I've gotten so much information and done so much research on it. I mean, more and more stuff that's happened to us, or to me, because my son stopped going. He stopped jumping, and now he don't like to hear it. But yeah, I told him, I said, you have to keep doing it, because if you don't, the timeline that we're in right now will start to collapse. It only lasts for so long. And then you have to jump, which is, even then I started calling it jump. And that's the only word I could think of. And I never heard of quantum jumping. I just recently found that out now. I mean, not too long ago. That's what it's called, quantum jumping. So he's not jumping. He only did it a couple of times, I think he did. And then, because I told him, you can't fall in love with this time that we're in. You have to let it go and jump. If you don't, the time will collapse, and then you'll be stuck here and you'll be miserable. It won't work anymore. So he got stuck. And I know he probably hears it now. He's so far back now, because I done jumped like 20 times at least.
Wow.
But this last one I did kind of get stuck on. This last one was the hardest one for me, because I did get a little stuck in it, but I got myself out of it. I mean, you know, I know this is kind of gets out there, you know, for some people, but it's real. I mean, if you start looking into it, if you start digging around into it, it's not even hard. You don't have to dig that hard. It is out there, and there, you know.
And every time it's different, isn't it?
Well, people are out there, even with a lot of the people the scientists that are out there will talk about this, you know, and what this is. So this is where the Sasquatch comes in. This is why he's never been caught, because he can go through these times, and so you never can catch him. You know, it's like when we try to get out through the first gate when we were there the first time. We couldn't go back the way we came in, because I could see a wall that was there. Like, it looked like water on that.
That's what I was saying. Every time's different.
Yeah, because this was another. That first one I was talking about was one portal. Then there's another portal that we went into, and that one, when we crossed into that one, we couldn't come back, because when we tried to come back, there was a wall of water. It looked like water. It looked like water, and we couldn't. We couldn't go. You couldn't. One of my members. And that girl, she was standing no more than 10 feet in front of us. And she told my member, because my member told me after that, she was saying that she couldn't see you and couldn't hear you. We both couldn't. But yet we were right there in front of them. We could hear and see them, but they couldn't hear and see us, because we were behind the wall.
Well, it's like a mirror effect.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So I had to get down on my knees and walk and find an opening. And we had to crawl out through, like a mouse, through a hole in the wall, a little hole to come back across.
The rabbit's hole.
If you stay where you are and you can't come back, excuse me, would the place where you live, would you be seen as missing?
Yeah, you'd be a 411.
That's bloody hard.
That's why you hear a lot of people going into the forest and they never come back.
That's my God.
And then for the very first time, my wife and my daughter, I mean, it may sound like I was joking, but I would tell them that every time we would go, I says, if I don't come back, either because I got lost and we can't come back, or we got taken. I mean, it may sound funny, like I was joking, but I mean, I was being serious about it.
No,
I still am. Every time we go, I think I can figure it out sometimes. This last time that we went, that's what I'm saying. It's awesome because I took Lurker and I took another paranormal investigator that he's known also. And because I wasn't supposed to take him where I was going to go, but I did. And they actually saw the dimension that we were in start to close. And we had to get out before it closed because I told them, if we don't leave now, we're going to get stuck. And they saw it. They saw everything start to close, and we had to get out. They could see the lights in there. They could see the spirits when they would come out. You call them orbs, but these are lights. And they saw the lights coming out because I started to call everything out because I was doing my offering. That's what I went to go do this time.
Yeah.
And I mean, we heard trees breaking. I mean, big trees breaking, like something big was walking through it. You would say like a Sasquatch or something. I don't know. We didn't see it, but we heard it. And then once I finished, and I actually have one of the incense that I had in there. That little incense lit up that place like a big light. Because I had them, I used them for not use them for light, but it became like a torch. But as the incense started to go out, that's the amount of time that we had to spend in that place.
Okay, I get it.
And we had to get out.
Oxygen is leaving.
Yeah, we had to get out before the incense was done. So we only had it's kind of like an hourglass, we only have this much time. And as it started to get lower to the bottom, everything in there started to get dark and it started to close in. Even Lurker said the same thing. He goes, I could see it, that it's like you said, it started to get dark in here. We can't see us because we're not going to find our way back out. So that we had to get out before that. So if we would have stayed in there, which on this next time that I'm going, I said I'm going to stay.
What's your gut tell you to do?
Yeah.
My gut?
Because we were talking about intuition and stuff, and so your head, you're going, I'm going to stay. I'm going to chance it. But what is your gut telling you?
My gut.
Don't do it.
I'm going to stay.
You want to stay?
No, your gut.
Actually, this time I did go back to do that, but because I had Lurker and Pete with me, I wasn't going to do it. So we had to get out. But I did go back to do that. So this time when I go back, I'm going to do it this time.
You're going to stay?
Yeah, I'm going to stay and I'm going to watch it close. I'm going to stay inside and watch and let it close.
But you can't call out.
Well, like I said, sometimes...
How are they going to find you? So, but you told your wife, if I don't come back, call 911 and stuff. Well, how are they going to find you? Because the police department and stuff like that, they're not going to believe in that. They're going to, go to the forest and be like, oh no, we can't find them.
Well, this last
fly helicopters over.
Last time, what I was going to do was, my son was going to go, but he hasn't been going anymore. So, I was hoping that he was going to go because I was going to have him sit right outside the entrance of that portal.
Okay.
And just just wait there while I go do this. So he already knows what's going on. So if he goes in after me and he don't find me, then I'm gone.
Oh, what about like divers? When they go down deep, they have ropes.
Yeah.
And stuff. Are you going to take a rope?
Yeah. Someone suggested that to me one time to make a line.
Paracord, it's small, tiny, and
what's that movie called? Poltergeist.
Yes,
where she went through, and she came through. Came through the ceiling.
This house is clean.
Yeah, people have suggested that to me, but for me, it's kind of like, no, I'm doing it al fresco. You know what I mean?
Why? Okay, so why? If I was to do that, which I know I'm not going to, but I'm just saying, if I was to do something like that, I would do it with a paracord first.
In here.
To Howard, to see what would happen and to pull myself back out if I can. Then if I was to do it the second time, I would do it without the cord.
Right.
Right.
mean,
That's what I'm saying. That for me now, it's no cord. You know, I mean, it's I'm going to rely on the abilities.
You know what? Now,
You know what I mean?
Anthony, so say we don't hear from you for about a month, 2 months. We're like, Anthony, he did it. He didn't tell us he did it. We say, guys, I'm just taking a break and Facebook.
He didn't take the paracord with him.
We're still here. We're still here. Because now we'd be checking in on you every day.
Yeah.
Anthony,
Well, that's where we're at now, because this is why I start to talk about it a little bit more sometimes, so that it can stay documented. Because I do film in there, because after the first time and the second time, I did start to film on a different camera. That way we can review when we come back out. Just in case we can't figure a way out, we can look back on the video at the actual time, you know.
But wouldn't it change every time?
Well, yeah.
Because there's different, parallels, different vortexes. So you can go in and you think you're in the same spot, but actually it's going to.
Yeah, well, I'm trying what I can. You know what I mean? Because I know sometimes.
Take a rope.
I know.
Sometimes it
Take a rope the first time. Take a rope the first time because, But
you see, on this one here, you're gonna have to cross 2 gateways to get to where the one that I went to this last time, which we found some awesome things that were built in there, but they're made out of trees. And the thing is, nobody knows this stuff. I talk about it, and I got so many people that follow me and so many people that see this, and yet still nobody will go in there. And I've talked to so many people that says, "No, I won't go in there. I won't go in there. I get a bad vibe."
Oh,
okay,
wow.
fine.
I'd like to try it. I am
They won't.
Try it.
I've only taken a few in there, and they saw it. They saw the things that I was showing them, and for themselves, but they won't go back. But that's fine with me. It's meant for me, I guess. I don't know. But
that's something I want to experience too.
But I have a lot of footage too, so it's not just me talking about it. There is a lot of footage.
I'm definitely going to be watching them tonight.
So they, that's old footage. I have new ones, but this time when I go back, I'm gonna go past gonna say you have to cross. Well, you're crossing 1, 2, 3, 4 gateways, and so this time I'm going past the 4th one now.
Oh my God! Okay. Now there's a forest beside me. I walk my dogs. I'm gonna go in differently. I'm taking my dog. What's this? I'm taking the dog.
And this is still just a small piece of that place. This time when we go back, I'm going to go on the other side, because there's another side that we go into too. But this time I'm going to this other place. There's another entrance that we're going to go in that we haven't been into. But I'm still going to go back to that original one and go back past the 4th gateway in it.
Do you hear? Okay, so I live by Mount Hood, and go up in the forest there. We hear all kinds of animals, all kinds of birds, constantly active. And I also know when you're hearing crickets, it's safe. But once the cricket stops,
that's when
there's something there.
Yeah.
We have no crickets here in Ireland, apart from the ones you feed, being dragons and whatnot. But that's it.
And there they keep on going.
We actually do. I'm wrong. Sorry, Anthony. We do have crickets.
Yeah, they keep on going in there. There's a sound that just keeps on going. They don't stop. I've thought about that too. That when the crickets stop, I mean, there's something predator like.
Right, but if there's different parallels, they're not going to stop. But do you hear a lot of birds, or is it kind of quiet?
There's a bird. That's that whistle. Like when you start to hear that whistle, it's a long whistle.
I was going to say what it sounds like.
Yeah, I have it recorded a bunch of times. Really good. You can hear it, and that's what that whistle.
Next time, be prepared when you come to school.
and I've heard that same whistle on that documentary that they were playing, about the Sasquatch. Wow. And then on the other videos that are out there on YouTube where people are just out of the forest in their forest and they hear that, Okay. But there's a long whistle, and there's owls.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which they're not supposed to be any owls over there.
They're not supposed to be?
Well, they say San Antonio doesn't have any owls, but there are owls. But in there's different sounds, and then there's no cloud.
Does the sounds change where you're at before you walk in? You're gonna have like I don't know, city sounds, just a lot of everyday sounds. I know it's not the city, but like cars going by, you hear all that, you got more activity. But as soon as you go in there and you feel the heaviness, do a lot of those sounds go away, but just a few will stay, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's because it's close to the city. It's kind of outside of the city, but there's still there's a highway there. You can't hear the cars from every.
Yeah, how would I know that?
You know, but yeah, and there's even right now that I feel like I'm just still connected with it. I'm always connected with it. It's like a humming noise. It's like like right now I just hear just like a hum in my mind. That's what you hear in there. It's like that.
A high pitched tone.
Yeah, it's a tone. It's a tone. It's a frequency. Yeah, that's why I'm into the frequencies. It's the frequency. It's a frequency of tone that you hear. Because like right now,
we're all connecting right now.
Yeah, because right now I can actually I was actually there just a few minutes ago when we were talking.
It earlier when you were talking at the beginning, and I was kind of saying to I was kind of listening but saying nothing, thinking it's a microphone or something, and now it's just like, and it's not even the ringing in your ears. It's like it's a high pitch tone.
Yeah,
it's high.
And that usually happens when on podcasts when I start talking about this. Either the screens will start to fade out or blur out like yours, or you'll hear the sounds. I mean, sounds through the microphone, or people will start to have dreams that are in the chat. They've messaged me before that they had the dream about it and they saw this and that, whatever. So it affects a lot of things when I start to talk about it. And it happens on every podcast. I mean, it's not even, surprising anymore.
I don't know. I don't know what that high pitched sound was, but it was there 3 times.
But someone had figured out one time when they were listening to me that they actually did a frequency test on my voice. And my voice we all have it because we all have our voice is frequency. So my hertz on the sound, they got the hertz on my voice. So my voice is the frequency of my voice is what can open these places. And so that's
a print, but this is your voice activate. If that can have voice activation, that.
Right. So when I'm talking about it, because I go to it, like a while ago, I actually did zone out as I was speaking and I was walking in there right now. And that's when stuff starts to happen on these podcasts. People start getting affected by it. They'll have dreams, so I started to even the dog's hearing it.
He's on the floor. He's ripped the bed. He has a ball. And he has the toilet roll, and now he has my slipper, and now he has a squeaky toy.
Oh my God, my dogs get the old toilet rolls out of the garbage and plays with them. That's crazy.
He has it here, Yogi Bear. His name is Yogi Bear. But
so they got the frequency from my voice, because I did take 2. We went there on the 4th time that we went. We actually met. See, this was weird because it's always 4, but we
4 people go.
Yeah. Right, from like the very first time. So this is all pieces of the puzzle, but this all started coming together now. I don't figure that part out now where I'm at. But there was the 4th time that we went. It was just me and my son. We got there at the right time again because we already got this. We ended up meeting 2 girls in there, and they said they came up to us and they said that they were both mediums. They live in San Antonio, but they've never been there. One of the girls was telling me, she goes, we were just drawn to come here tonight, and we knew that we were going to meet someone here tonight. So,
wow.
But there's 4 of us now. See, there's always 4. Every time, and we've met people like this several times already, that the number becomes 4. Because at first it was just me and my son going, after the first time, because it was 4 was the first time, 2 of them just dropped out of the team because of it. It was just me and my son. And then from that point on, it was just me and him until this last 4 times that he hasn't gone anymore. But we met
Next time, look at your watch and see if, like, whatever time you go in, because
11,
you go in at night, huh?
11, 11.
11 all the time? Because I was thinking maybe like 11:44, 12:44.
No,
That you know that.
even this last time that I waited to when I was going to do the live, we waited outside before I told everybody let's go because we had to wait to 11. Once the girls is 11, then we go in.
I want to get a flight over so bad.
So we went in. So the
You
two
know,
girls that were there, they live in San Antonio. They never been there. She told me we felt that we were drawn to come here tonight. We knew we were going to meet someone. We didn't know it was going to be y'all. But I said, "This says, can we go in there with you?" And I said, "Yeah, that's fine." So, but that made us 4 again.
Right
Okay. So
before
we
you
go
entered.
in, and this one was awesome because she was so in tune that right off the bat, when these I call them fireflies, but they're not fireflies. They look like them because they're red, yellow, green, and blue. They're different colors, and
Oh, really?
they all start coming out, and she starts calling them, and she's calling them and
Are they
talking to them.
fairies?
Yeah, that's what came out now that they're fairies, and she would call them, and they would come and land on her hand, and she was talking to them, and she was asking them their names and that don't be scared, and she would call another one. I
Wow.
mean, even right now, still like I can feel that energy because I'm already connected there.
I'm getting goosebumps because of
Yeah,
the fairies.
That's what I
she
would
starts.
say.
They all start to come out. They all start to come out like this, and she's calling them. They're landing on her hand. I mean, she's talking to them. And the crazy thing was is that I that time I had taken a night vision camera, and I was filming it. Oh, and I was like, oh yes, I finally got
Um,
something good. You
I
know?
gotta cut you off because my brain. Other times when you got in there, did they all come out like that, or this lady's
Yeah.
energy drew them out?
No, the first time that we went in, they came out, and then when we crossed the very first port, the one that actually went into, the friend had gone in first, and he took off in there, and then
Okay.
I went in after him, and when I went in after him, he crossed over to the next one, and I stayed behind here because I felt that something was going to kill him in there. I said something's going to kill him, so I'm just going to wait. And so I waited there because I could feel like something was grabbing my legs. So I stopped, and I stopped and I squatted down, and then right in front of me there was a dark shadow sitting there too, just watching us. Because there's a ton of shadow
Wow.
people in there.
I was
And,
going to say there's bad people in it.
yeah,
It
you
was,
can see them during the daytime too. I actually have them on video too. I got them on video also. You can see them, and during the daytime. And but at that time, the shadow was kind of far from me. He was squatting down, watching me. But at the same time, too, the reason why that I squatted down was because I had all these white lights come out, and they started going in circles around me that they started to blind me. So I kneeled down. My son was at the on the trail with my other member and that girl, and then he starts to tell him we need to go in there and get my dad because look, there's all those things are flying around in circles.
oh my,
And
Yeah, that's almost like I didn't mean to cut you off again. Like cemeteries, once you start hearing crows, it's like a sign you need to leave because I've had experience of shadows coming in. But anyways, that's really weird.
yeah, so he's seeing all that go around because we need to go in there and get him because he felt that I was going to kill that guy. So see, there's a lot of things in there to start messing with your mind, and I've heard about this that these entities will get into paranormal investigators to kill the other investigators. I've heard about that.
That's why 4 go in, 2 come out. No, I'm
Yeah.
joking.
So
with me. You love your team. Come for a
Yeah.
walk with the birds.
So the other member,
yeah.
didn't want to go in. So my son goes, well, forget this. I'm going to go in there and get my dad out. You know what I mean? So he stayed. He told him. He goes, oh, well, no, I'll stay here with the girl. Okay, fine. You know, he says, okay, fine, stay here with the girl. I'm going in after my dad. So he comes in. So that's when he crossed over. It's kind of like this is where, in a way, I would just say, but it's not. This is where he made his mistake now because now he crossed over. And when he crossed over, it changed him. We just didn't know it yet. So he came in after me, and when he came up to me, I said, he goes, hey, man, all these things were flying around you. I says, I know. This is what I couldn't see. This is why I got down. I says, but look over there in front of you. There's a shadow there. He goes, yeah, I see him. I goes, where did that guy go? I go, he went in and crossed over to the next one, but something's going to get him in there. Let's just wait here and see what happens. If you start screaming, then we know.
See,
You
that's
know,
the freaky part I don't want, because I'd be running around with my hands screaming in the air,
so
you
so he ended up finally coming out of that other gateway, and that's when we started to walk back, and that's when we ran into the wall, and we could see my member, and the girl, but they couldn't hear or see us. But every time we go, the those those lights. Well, this one time it didn't happen, but every time after that. But this last time, now that I've gotten to know more about it and made a connection with the natives that are in there, with the elementals that are in there, I've connected with all of them. Not all of them, but most of them. Now, this last time that we went with Lurker and Pete and then another investigator. Um, I called them out as soon as I got there, and they all just came. And I have it on video too, man. They're just like a Christmas. It looked like Christmas. Like
How many times has Lurker gone in there with you?
This was
Just the
the
one,
first
or
this was the he went in 2 times because he went during the daytime, and then I think he went again with me at night. The next night.
Is the energy still the same during the day as it is at night once you cross that threshold?
It can be. It's just different. It's different. It's kind of like the same, but it's not like at night. At night is different. At night is when you hear the women crying.
And your senses are more hyped.
Yeah. It's because there was a massacre, and they massacred the natives that were there to take their land.
Oh my God!
Oh, that's what Anthony says. Next time you go, ask for a keeper of the forest.
Yeah, the keeper. Every portal that's in there has a gatekeeper in the front.
Yeah,
a guardian.
Wow.
And some of them we can't cross in there because even the first time when I saw the third one, I told my son, I says, if we go into that one, we won't come out. And I wasn't ready for all that yet.
Why do you think that?
That was my gut feeling. I just knew it. I knew it. I said, if we go into that one, we won't come out. I won't know how to get out of that one. But every gateway in there has its own, and you can see it. It has its own guardian. It's guarding that entrance. But yeah, it's just like so. There's still a whole lot more. There's still a whole lot more to that.
Oh my God, that's like. I'm so.
Do you not use flashlights?
No.
Yeah, that's a no. Anthony does not use flashlights.
I don't like the light.
I wear a headlight.
I mean,
I put on red.
I've got about 10 flashlights in his fingers.
No, the only reason why I use one on that one of the lives is because I was live. You know what I mean?
Live.
But other than that, I don't. We go in with no flashlights. We have them, but we don't use them.
That's really good. Yeah. I'm just afraid of falling over because I fall over cat balls for crying out loud.
Well, it's like I say, I can see really good in the dark, and I can navigate through the dark a lot better than I can. And the light hurts my eyes.
The first time you went in, did you take a flashlight?
No, we had a baby little flashlight like this with like a pin. That's all I had, and I had to take it away from one of my members because he wouldn't turn it off, and I took it away from him.
I'd fight you for the torch.
Yeah, that was pitch dark. All the other ones are too, but this one we didn't have anything. That's the only we had. And
I like my torches. I probably have 2 or 3 of them in my handbag, not my handbag, but
I have so many. I'm
a torch collector.
It's because like they say, when you're in the dark, it heightens your senses even more.
Yes.
So if you're in pitch darkness, you know what I mean, then you're really going to depend on your senses, your abilities. So that's just where also too, like I say, in there, everybody sees something different. We'll see the same things, but you're going to still be challenged with the things that you fear the most, or whatever it is that's going to be challenging you. And so you're really going to be pushing your limits. So you're on the verge of either, let's say, losing your mind, or you're going to pass that, and it's going to download on you, and you're going to come out of there a whole lot stronger.
And it's like Anthony Lewis said, after a while, you just know and sense your way, like your home.
Yeah.
So you know the land, everything else. And there's another question here as well from Debbie. Did Lurker feel what you felt?
Yeah, Lurker, you can go to that live. I mean, he's on there. I think Debbie saw that. Maybe we were.
I'm going to be I'm going to be
That was on Facebook.
on your page after this.
I got so much stuff but for me, it's kind of like I got a ton of stuff from this place that I know being a paranormal investigator and being around so many. I got a gold mine. I got stuff that people would kill for to experience.
I'm going to drop your link again.
But I don't. But I don't put it out there because for me, it's almost kind of like, not that I'm being selfish or anything, but because I do challenge. I tell people, meet me down there and I'll take you in, and I guarantee you. Because even those two girls, when we went in there after that, like I said, I was filming her on night vision, and I was so excited because I said, "Man, I finally got some good footage out of here." Well, it got erased. The camera shut down and it got erased. Of course. And it happened when I was in there. It's like, of course. Okay. But when we went down further and we were talking and we were walking down the other trail, going in deeper, because that was another thing. These girls just met these two guys and they weren't afraid to go in there into a deep forest with two strangers. So I don't know. There you go. But they were medium, so I guess they could sense that we weren't going to do anything to them. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we walked in there, and as we were walking, I was talking to that one, and right behind us, you could hear. You didn't hear it. We just saw 4 dark shadows jet across the four dark shadows run across the trail right behind us. We saw it. No, right in front of us. Right, we were walking for it. It was in front of us. It just went chunk, 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 chunk. So people say they were pigs, but you're in a forest. You're in a forest. There's no noise. It's it's quiet. You would hear an animal run. You can hear cats, your dog walk across the floor. Imagine something that weighs over 50 pounds running and fast. You didn't hear nothing. All you heard was choo choo choo. And that's what that guy saw too. That investigator that went out there during the daytime, and then she told me that the girl, that medium, well, they're both mediums, because she was having to pass her energy on to her friend because her friend was starting to get attacked.
Right.
Wow.
She had to put her hand on her shoulder, and then she put her hand on my son's shoulder. And then my son told me, because I could feel like electricity coming off her hand, when she put it, because she was protecting you. And then she turned around and asked me, she goes, "How do you do this? How do you open these places?" I says, "I don't know." But that was at the beginning. It's like the fourth time, or the third or fourth time that we went. That I'm the one who's causing this. So now, after later on, that when they did that other investigator analyzed my voice through the mic, my voice, and got the frequency of my voice. He goes, "That's what's opening your frequency, your own voice when you speak causes all this stuff."
Anthony, come up to Ireland and I'll bring it into forests.
Huh?
Come up to Ireland and I'll bring it into a few forests.
Yeah, I mean, I go to all these places. I mean, I'd love to go to all these forests. I think I'm connected to everything now. Because they are.
And what happened?
Because there's more forests in San Antonio that we've gone to behind the missions, and those forests that one main forest is connected to all those forests. So elementals, they all travel back and forth to these other places. That's why I'm moving there. I'm moving there because I have a giant shoe store, and I just moved to a country that has no shoes. I have a giant shoe factory, and I just moved to a country that nobody has shoes. And I don't understand it, but that's cool. And they can be afraid of it all they want. Yeah. I'm not. I'm already surpassed all that. I know. I've been there. I've connected with this. I know the story of it, of what started, why it happened there, what happened in there. But there's still more. I haven't even touched really a lot of it that's in there. That's why I said this thing is huge. This journey. And there's a lot of people. There's people in the chat right now. They've been following this journey with me. They know about the bone. What I went through to get this. That was cool. But this is touching on parallel universes, quantum leaping, elementals, everything.
It's
I like
interesting.
I like it because it takes me away from the, it's like you say, the darker side of things, witchcraft and all that stuff. Yeah, I know how to do all that too, but this is like so totally different, there's not a lot of people that are out there like this.
This is brilliant because it's something that I haven't spoken about before. And guess what I'm watching tonight? I'm watching a quantum leap movie. And I'm going to be texting Anthony every 5 minutes. Anthony!
Yeah.
Big circle.
Actually, Debbie, it was this one. I had it the whole time.
Yeah.
I had it because I wanted to find an arrowhead in there, but I thought that was going to be it.
Did somebody whistle, or was that somebody's phone? I'm not kidding.
That was my husband's email. He's in the kitchen.
For God's sake! Something else. I thought it was happening again on another live.
No, that was his. I'm hoping that what you heard is his.
When you walk past the wall,
Anthony.
A glow.
Okay. When you walk past wall or rock, do you see it give off a glow?
Well, I think he's saying a glow. I think he's saying a glow. It doesn't. There's on the trail on the other trail further down. When you start to go down a little bit, it goes into kind of like the forest grows like this, the trees. Yeah. It makes it look like, because it goes into a big opening on one part, and then you can see it in front of you where the trees grow like this, and it looks like it's going to go into a tunnel. It looks like a tunnel on the side of a mountain where the train goes into.
Right.
That's what it looks like. And when you go in there, the temperature changes. It gets really, really cold in there. And in that one, the leaves and the rocks will glow. And then when you look into the forest, you will see makeshift houses out of trees, and they glow. Like you see a village almost made out of like trees, not regular wood.
Right.
But you can see it into the forest, and you'll see it change. You'll actually see like the village of houses. My son is actually the first one that caught that. And then after I started to pay attention, then I started to see it. But the rocks do glow. The ground will glitter like diamonds in some other areas.
Oh,
and I try to catch it on camera, but I try to get it on camera, on video, but it won't work.
Okay, it just wouldn't do the same. I want to ask you as well. Laura, I'll give you a wee text later, girl. She has to go. I'll give you a wee text later. So because of these houses are made like from trees or from it's not modern as it would be today. I'd be fascinated about if you've seen, and apart from the fairies, was there any animals that you would have seen that's not here?
Yeah, the only animals that we've seen is just the dark shadows run across.
I was going to say I was going to move that, but now you said dark shadows, and I'm like, no, I'm changing my mind.
Yeah. and then one of the two husband and wife team that I did take in there one time, I was telling them about it, and then they the wife actually started to see into the forest where it changes and the landscape changes, and you can see that because it goes in and out. But
is it almost like when you're driving down the highway, and you see the heat waves on the road, you know what I mean? And things
That's what the wall looked like. That's what the wall looked like.
Okay, so wow, okay.
And then she could see. She started to see it, but because even a little girl, there was two other people that went in there one time too. The two ladies and their daughter. Their daughter was like 12 years old, and she started freaking out a little bit. So I gave her my little flashlight just to calm her down. Mm-hmm. And I started to tell her, "Look, watch. If you calm down and you start looking, because the cement trail goes like this. It's like a bike trail. It's cement." And I told her, watch, so we stop right here. Now, if you look and just stay calm, just take your breathing. I started to coach her in their breathing. Yeah. Just started bringing her, calming her down. I said, you'll start to see the road start to straighten out.
Oh, my God.
And then you could see the road because the trail it literally curves like this. And then in front of you. And then I said, watch, the road, the trail, the cement trail, it'll start to straighten out. And then after I started calming down, she started looking, and she started going, "Mom, look, it is straightening out. It's going straight." and so she actually started to see the trail straighten out. So how did it? So now that you know what I mean? You're in somewhere else now. because how are you going to see the trail, cement trail doing this, and then it starts to, it literally strains out. I said, now watch when it strains out. Now look straight, and you're going to see a big opening that's going to open up, and then she started to see the opening on the other side to open up. Now I haven't been into that one yet, but you got to open them.
Who made the trail? You said cement, so is the trail actually, instead of cement, it has
it's like a sidewalk. It's a bike trail.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they didn't have the my brain just broke the.
Yeah, what they did was they got that piece of land, and then what they did was they made a mountain bike trail. So it's like a 6-foot sidewalk that goes through their cement.
Oh, okay.
But it curves. It's got hills. They made it for a bike trail. To ride bicycles.
Oh yes, yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's actually called the Riverway Trailway. It's a mountain bike trail, but it's cement. But it curves. It's only like maybe 6 feet wide. As wide as a sidewalk.
Yes.
But like I told her, I says you'll see it straighten out, and you can see it. It's just straight. I saw it. I mean, she saw it too. And then, but that other lady and her husband, when I started to show her the villages that you could see into the forest, she started to see it. And then I took her and her husband to that spot. Now that I know where it's at, the first time that we crossed the portal, I had another member with me, and I told him, take him to the edge, and I told her, now watch, I'm going to tell them to stop, and when I tell them to go forward, they're going to disappear, and then they're going to appear again, because they're going to cross through that place that we went to the first time into the next gateway. And so we stood at the sidewalk, and then it's about 15 feet from there. And then I told my member and her husband to go up to it. And I said, now stop. And I said, now wait. And then I told her, now watch. Don't freak out. And then I said, now go ahead and go. They crossed over and it disappeared. And she started freaking out. Where's my husband? My husband just disappeared. I don't see him anymore. Where'd he go? I said, calm down. It's okay. Watch. Keep going.
Where's this girl asking for a friend? She wants to put her husband in it.
So it's like a mirage kind of then.
Yeah, because once you cross, you're going to disappear because you're crossing over. You're crossing over.
Oh, I know. I was going to ask. Are the bike path, is it made up with limestone too?
I don't know. I just know it's cement. I don't know if there's limestone mixed with it.
Yeah.
But on that one too, that entrance, when you go off from one trail and it connects to another trail that to the right. That's when you go in there. That has a circle in the middle. That's where my son and the friend of those people, the first time we went in there, he remembers seeing a metal gate that had symbols on the side. I didn't see the gate, but that's what I mean. Everybody will see something different. Okay. And so he remembers a gate there because there was a big gate. Actually, in the video, he's actually explaining that on this one of the last ones that he did. He says, I saw a big gate here. It had symbols on the side, and we walked through it because we stopped. I remember stopping. That guy was walking, and he stopped and he looked around and he goes, and I saw it. And I told him I didn't see it. So, but I'm not saying he didn't because I know I see things that he don't see, And
what's on the other side of that trail? It goes all the way through the forest?
It goes like, I think it's like 18 miles. It goes through the forest. It goes in and out of the forest, into openings, and then it goes.
It's just one trail. It doesn't break off.
Long one. It breaks up into other trails because I've gone off the trail, literally into the forest, and found the original trail, which is just a trail on the ground, and we've gone through that.
Wow.
And that's where the ground shimmers like diamonds.
Lauren goes, I see a field trip in the future, right?
Yeah, that's where the ground glimmers like diamonds, and that one takes you to another place, but now you're going literally into the forest.
Have you ever went into the forest from the other end of the trail?
No, we've gone. This is where I'm going to go on the next time. We're going to go on the other side because there's another side of it too. But there's so many places. I mean, it's like that mountain behind you. There's all kinds of trails in there, so you can come in through a lot of different places. But I've always described this place like neighborhoods. Like you can go from one neighborhood, from one block to if you look at a map and you see that all your neighborhoods are blocks, that's what they look like, and it's got the streets like this. Well, in each block is different. So just say like this block here, everybody's cool and everybody knows each other. But as soon as you go past the stop sign and you go to the next block, all those people are gangsters and all kinds of people. Just a bad part of town or whatever.
Okay, I got another question. I didn't mean to cut you off. Remember my brain. So you got two ways in, or how the trails break off from the main trail? Can you get in through those other trails, or is it just two ways in and two ways out?
Well,
the front and the back of it.
There's only two ways in. One in, if you go in this way, you can come out over here. So it's just like that. But inside, they all go different ways.
But they don't take you out. They
don't come out.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a question here from Debbie. Anthony, do you think maybe that place was part of your past life? Maybe.
Yeah, we figured that one out. That's why I said that when I started doing the research on the land, it dates back 10,000 years when they were building the San Antonio aqueduct, the dam. That's when they found, back in 1981, they found artifacts dating back 10,000 years from the natives. So that land, just to say right now, is documented 10,000 years of native. So if you go back 6,000 years at that part, because we've only been right here in America for 200 years, and our technology's only been only that long. So you go back 6,000 years, you're before, if you believe in the Bible, you're before Christ. You know what I mean? So
have you taken a Native American in there? An Indian, somebody who, because they got the big beliefs of the land, and they know the land. Have you taken anybody like that?
Yeah, when I started doing the research, I found that, well, like I said, from that part, so there's this back 10,000 years, the artifacts of the natives, which I found out that it's the Papaya Native indigenous people that live there. They live there, and actually they're still there. There's still a small group of them there, which I've been trying to get a hold of.
In that area, okay.
Yeah, because I've seen them on YouTube, and I've been trying to get a hold of one of the elders that's there to talk to them. But like I said, we go there. We only go there for 4 days, so it's kind of like I use my time to go in there.
Right. Yeah.
But that's where I'm moving there. I'm moving there because
I'd be curious what a Native American would feel.
Yep.
going
in there, or if they're like, nope, I'm not going in there.
They do, because when I started to watch them on YouTube, and then they have one video where they still have their gatherings in San Antonio, because they have a name for the river that goes through there, and I think it's called the Gaia River. It's like the River of Life or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but there's so the first member that I had in there, the reason why he left was because when we came back, he's native, and I did take one. See, yeah, my first member, he's well.
But is he from that land there, or is he a different? Is he like Cherokee or something?
Yeah, he's Cherokee. But the thing is that I ended up finding out that I'm native. I have native blood. So from this whole thing, what I mean? So it's been
maybe that's why you're drawn.
Right. So that's what we started to come together with some other people here. And then, but the reason why that he didn't go back is because he was given a vision of what happened in there. And so he didn't want anything to do with it. But the people that live there, the tribe that live there is the Papaya tribe. And so that's what, there was many tribes also that lived there, but they were in conflict with each other. It goes back to there was a shaman war, is what it was.
Okay.
One shaman accused another tribe that shaman was doing things to the people. Mm-hmm. So it kind of like he accused them of something, so the people killed him. So now the shaman that they killed is still there, but also the shaman that was bad is still there too. So this is why it started taking me down a shamanic path, because I am native, and I have been been wanting to do that for a long time. I just didn't know it was going to come through there.
So you're going to do that next.
Yeah. So this is why I started. That's why I started to lead me to build my shamanic toolbox, which we use all the elements, the fire, earth, and water.
Yeah.
And because I said I've had a drawing to that, I just didn't know why. But once I started going there and through the almost 3 years now to where I'm at now, it started to make sense to me.
Wow.
So now I have a shaman brother that I've met that's been helping me with that also, and like I said, each one of these items I had to earn. I had to get them, except for this. Well, this one I got right off the bat was the fire, but these I had to go on a journey in the forest to get them. And I didn't know this is what it was. You know what I mean? I had to go. I would just go. I just would go in and like this. The bone, I ended up paying a dime.
I just heard a knock. Was that?
No, I think that's when Anthony put the rock down on the table.
That?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I did.
Yeah.
Like,
so
I heard a knock.
I said this one I paid a dime, so I gave a dime offering for this one. So I actually paid for it in the right way. But it was
cool.
it was tough to get this because I had to go it by myself into the forest at night. We were doing an investigation, and that one's on YouTube too. That one has some really good EVPs. I mean, you think
light
Reggie
or a fairy guide you into it?
Yeah, they
do. You even remember?
No, they do. Like I said, I got some EVPs that will make Reggie jealous, and because I asked it, I said, "Are the natives still here?" And you can hear it; they're here. It says it just like that, straight out. I even have them here.
I think that's so cool about the fairies because that's usually like Ireland and the UK. And
the fairy things they're kind of tricky because from the very first time that we went in there, they're the ones that were leading us to these places.
How would I know that?
But at the same time too, I think it was the second or third time that we went, they were actually leading us to a cliff because it's kind of like a cliff. It's big enough that because they would come out and then you could feel them that they would go into the forest off the cement trail, and then you want to follow them. You know what I mean? So you're going to go into the forest, but when we were following them one time, I stopped because I kept hearing myself say, "There's the river there. Watch out for the river." And,
so do you think there's good fairies and bad fairies?
Well, yeah, because that one there, like I said, I stopped and I said, you know what? Which way does the river going? Because the river goes through the forest, and so I ended up looking on my phone on satellite in the forest, and I saw that it was leading us to the river, but the place that it was leading us, it was going to be a big old drop. You know what I mean? In the ground was we were so we stopped. We went back the next day during the daytime and we went to that same spot so we could see. Yeah, man, that ground was all broken. I mean, as soon as you would have stepped on the edge of that part, you would have broke and you would have tumbled down. Your bones.
Is that on a trail or that you have to get off the trail?
It's right off the trail because
so that's why they don't have no barricades or anything like that.
Yeah, no, there's nothing there. You're walking through there. So we went back during the daytime and we went to that spot, like I said, and it's as soon as you would have walked a little bit more in there, the ground, you would have not seen it. It's all broken. You would have just broke, you would have fell, you would have tumbled down, like I don't know how far down, and you could see the river down there. So you would have probably broken your leg, your bone would have been sticking out outside of your leg, you see in the movies. You would have fell in the river, you would have drowned. Because we wouldn't have been able to get you. It's dark. We don't know where you end up. So that's when I started to see it's like we can't follow these things all the time like this because we need to be aware of where we're at.
Yeah.
Because we don't know if we're going to fall in some kind of sinkhole or whatever else is in there that we don't know yet. So, yeah. It's cool.
Sorry, I'm putting the cat in.
Am I echoing?
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm hearing an echo.
Can you? Is it me?
On my end. No, I think it's my end. Hello? Okay. I don't think I hear an echo now. I think I hit a wrong button or something.
You had what? I'm laughing at Jean. I was still laughing this morning from last night.
That's crazy now. Look, it's like, oh, food's here, Jay. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
You order a lot of food.
Did my dog's barking because you can hear. Who is it, Yogi Bear?
But like I was saying, Jen, this is a huge. It's not, I don't even want to call it a story because it's still ongoing.
Chica.
Someone had told me, there was an author actually that told me one time he heard it and he says, "Have you thought about writing a?" Oh, I have several ones that have told me that.
Do that.
That you have ever thought about writing a book? I said, I can't write a book. I'm not done. I'm just scratching the surface.
Start at the beginning.
Yeah, it's
like
like
the middle, and then we are all waiting for the end.
I don't think it's going to end.
Don't leave us hanging. Don't leave us waiting for the end.
Yeah,
I would go just for that.
I don't think it's going to end. It'll end when I die, or when I cross over or something, or I don't come back. But this is one of the main reasons why I'm moving to San Antonio. Like I said, I'll be moving there sometime here at the beginning of this next year. I finally got everything straightened out, and so that's one of the main things of why I'm moving there.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
A lot of people will say that. They're just like, man, dude, I wish I could just fly down there and go with you.
I feel like now, my investigations are great. The teamwork is amazing. It's brilliant. But now I just feel like, we need to amp it up a bit. We need to amp up the investigations. when it gets just, deja vu kind of thing.
And this didn't start out like that. Like I said, we stumbled upon this place. Like I said, I just looked up a place. It said Donkey Lady Bridge. Okay, let's go there. But when you go there off the main road and you make that right and go down that road, it'll start going down. And then it starts doing that, the trees. And as soon as we did that the first time, I told my kid, dude, I don't know where we're at, but I felt it. I go, this is something different. This is not, I could feel it so strong that I knew that this was different. This was not like other places that we've been to. And then once we got to the bridge, because like I said, it's got an urban legend, but it's at the bridge. And that's where everybody goes, because it's kind of like it's like a circus down there sometimes with so many people there. But they only go to the bridge because that's where the urban legend is. Now, if you keep walking across the bridge, that goes into the forest. They only go a little bit, and then the kids, you hear them screaming, but they only go a little bit. They don't go in there. So even the first time, once we got there, I was already drawn past the bridge. And I told my guys, I said, we're going to go deeper in there. And then, and we're going to, so that's when that first part happened. And then after that, of course, we don't stay at the bridge. We go right past the bridge. And, and there is an apparition there also, but I don't have time for that one. That one's kind of like.
There's a forest beside me and I do run my dogs in it. There's one nature trail and I take the other part, which is the bike track. And it's like rough bike track, muck. There's no cement in it, no pats in it. It's literally down and uphill. It's rough and ready. And there's a bridge that you cross over. And now I'm thinking, where's my dogs going tomorrow for their walkies?
Yeah.
Out to this. And I could even possibly do a live on it. Louise, one of my team members, is coming down tomorrow. So I'm gonna tell her. And then we'll go to the forest.
Well, bridges and waters, we know, there's something about bridges and rivers, especially when they go underneath the bridge, because I did another investigation that's on there on YouTube too. That's the one that one's different though, but that's the one that that's my first time that I've ever been. I got possessed by that entity that was there. Then we stumbled, and that one too. I've been going over that bridge for years. And I always felt that something was down there. And then one day we were out here messing around. And I said, hey, let's go by this bridge. It's been bugging me for years. So we went and checked that out. Yeah, that one became almost as big as this one, too.
And is that one near you as well? Where is that one?
That one, it's here in town.
So did you get a call in for that one too?
Well, that one, like I said, that one is because I work down the street from it, and so I
Okay.
cross it a lot, and it's been for years. Like I said, and I always felt there's something on this bridge, underneath this bridge, something on this bridge, and then just one day we were out, we're checking out another place, and I just said, let's go over here. This place has been bugging me, and we went there, and that first time we went, that one's on YouTube also. But that one has a deeper, more story not than this one. It can't. It doesn't. It's almost like this one. It almost matches this one. It's just on a different level. Put it that way.
I'm gonna be watching your videos after this.
Yeah, that one I can only. That one. I mean, it's just as long. We don't have enough time for that one. But that one. That one I only talk about certain things. I can't really say everything about it because of what it's connected to.
Who's this? This is Emmy sent me. Hello. I hope this is Emmy's friend. Is this Emmy's friend? Is a friend or foe? We're gonna find out when Emmy comes back. I'm going to get your StreamYard link. Can you hear me okay?
Me?
Oh yeah, I thought I froze there for a second. I thought I froze. I'm trying to close down my. I had your links here earlier, and I don't know where I got it. I don't know where they went.
Oh, the YouTube one is Texas Wraith Hunters.
I'll get them up. I will put them up underneath the show. After the show, I'll put them up underneath the show. Let me see. Question from Anthony. Then would you know about Keystone that opened and closed portals?
That's Ashley. She's my best friend.
I was going to say, as a friend, did you hear me say there's a friend or foe? Because I didn't know. And I just see her.
Yeah. She's one of my besties, yeah.
Sorry, Ashley. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
We just had a little experience. I've been looking since you started. I'm like, oh, Emmy, can you condone this? But it's okay. Sorry. We just.
That's okay.
You just got to check. What's this? Emma probably left a poop. She probably did.
Oh my gosh.
What are you eating, Emma? What are you eating?
I am eating French fries and a cheeseburger.
Oh, you always make me hungry. I'm going to a wedding. I have got to not eat late at night. I've got
I know, that's my bad habit. That's why I end up getting dinner now.
Well, I ate earlier, but I ate once today, and I didn't eat yesterday because I was busy. I didn't mean not to eat. I just got busy. So I'm bloody hungry. No. Show me your cheeseburger. Because
I cut it in half. I get extra pickles. Because the pickles blend in.
I have jars of pickles in my fridge.
I love pickles.
I would eat it forever with mustard and onions.
I've never tried it with mustard, but I love pickles.
I'm going to just to see who's open that I can order from. Yes, Miss Chantel, we are still here.
How long are your lives normally? Because this is
2 hours.
That's what I was telling my husband. I'm like, yeah, we'll be done in 2 hours.
We've been on for 3.
I know. I'm going to get a mail saying, Jennifer. Whatever. No
but
idea.
Anthony, I definitely want to have you on one of my shows. We'll talk about Sasquatch and stuff like that,
Yeah, I can catch up. Like I say, most people already know this far with it. So it's just really. I don't know if I've talked about a lot about this last. Well, I did a little bit about this last time, but it was like I said, it was really cool because I had people that I know and people that know other. I had people with me this time that people here know, in the networks. A lot of people know Nurker, and they know that he's not going to be BSing about stuff, faking anything. And the stuff that he experienced there was a lot, So.
It says Anthony, what is her page? Which one now, Jean? Which page? Let us know. Just give the wee comment. Chantel, very funny, from South Africa. I may or may not be awake. She texts me when she's asleep, or she voicemails me when she's still asleep. And then at one point she voicemailed me and she was saying, she almost got me knocked down on it because I was laughing so much. I'd listened to a voicemail. I didn't check the road and a car was like inches away from me. But she texted me and I don't know what she was talking about. I don't know, I can't remember, but I do remember at the end she was saying, delete this message. Siri's listening. She just sends me random voicemail. So I don't know if she's awake or not. I think she's an hour ahead of us, an hour ahead of me. Both of you all. So you all put that very quickly in there on the link.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
I think my link went in.
Yours did. I don't know how to do mine. But if I put my link in, all the networks that I'm on will all come down as, every single network would have commented my links.
There you go.
I don't know. I'll just kind of put it in as, I'll type it in. But I'm crap at doing
Anthony got you.
You did?
Yeah, Anthony got you. Oh, wait. No, he didn't.
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
All of them are on there. My profile one's on there. The Texas Wraith Hunters.
I was talking about Jenny's.
I'll sort mine out. I just kind of like, I need to have everything written in front of me because I'm kind of a little bad about doing it. And then we have the Facebook. I will have all of these on the after the show written down because I've got, I was running out of time tonight to put it in the intro. So
yeah, to put them on the chat, you can do them off your phone. It's faster. Like you go to your live, you know what I mean, and then you comment in the comment, and you boom, 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 boom off your keyboard.
Every time I go on my phone and then go on my computer, you have that that noise together.
Oh no.
I get that, and then you'll see me looking down on the phone, and on the camera here on the screen, you'll just see up my nose. So I will type it in somehow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll see that extra camera on.
Right.
I don't know how to do it. I'll put it in, but you're gonna watch this. You're gonna see. This is the.
Oh yeah, we see. You need to pluck those nose hairs. Sheesh.
Oh, look, my writing. Oh, my God. Just let me get this in.
Thank you, Jean.
Jennifer, type. Now watch until you see this. So when I just do this one thing, it's going to come up in every network that has commented. There we go. You see?
Sure did. You spammed.
Yes, so I have to get the link down properly and put it down properly. But it is Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers. And that's YouTube. And then that's Facebook. And then we have the Shadow Whispers in the Night. Yeah, I did spam it a bit, didn't I?
Yeah,
Good night, Donna.
That's she's going to sleep. She don't go to sleep. She's a night owl.
Donna says good night to you all.
She's a night owl. But that's just one of my investigations.
That's a bloody good investigation. That's something I have never heard before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have never heard before, and I'm intrigued, and I want to do it. And I'm going to take Louise to the forest tomorrow, and go over that track bike, and take the recorder with us. And
we've laid down on the floor and on the ground in that forest. I was actually going to walk barefoot through it this last time, but I didn't get a chance to.
Donna, it's your birthday, not sleeping. Don't be sleeping on your birthday, Donna.
Happy birthday. Nah, my voice cracked.
Your birthday. Yeah, she told me that earlier. It's birthday. I've thought about this. One of the reasons why I think we get old, and compared to people back hundreds of years ago, how they used to live longer. You hear about that they live a lot longer than we have.
Yeah,
it's because they didn't celebrate birthdays back then, and most people didn't know when they were born, so they never knew how old they were. So if you don't know something, so it's kind of like when you get around somebody and they say, I'm tired. Yeah, you know what? I'm tired too. You You see how it goes off on you?
Yeah.
So I'm getting old. I'm getting old. Yes, I'm already 43. Oh my gosh, now I'm 53. I'm
You
already
mentally,
done.
you
You know,
mentally feel your age.
so because we manifest everything, or the power that we have in us, that we actually bring that negativity to us, and that actually ages us. So what if we never knew how old we were?
I like that because my mind has been driving me crazy in the last few months, and it's my age, and it's kind of like I'm being brainwashed by my age. I'm feeling this. It's my age. I'm feeling that.
Yeah.
My age. I'm going through this. It's my age.
I
And
mean,
I
like myself, I'm 55,
want,
and I've been diagnosed with some illnesses that I overcame. So
that's good.
they said I was going to need glasses. Okay, well, I still don't wear
Mhm.
glasses. They said that I wasn't going to be able to walk anymore because I had they diagnosed me with lupus, and I did go through a lot of pain at one time. They put me on all kinds of medication, and I stopped taking them. I says, no, I can defeat this, because I used to be able to heal myself, but because I got
Yeah.
away from everything, I forgot how. And then there was a time that I couldn't even walk to the restroom from my bed. I mean, it was literally so painful.
God Almighty.
And yet now my blood pressure was off the charts. And now when I do my checkups, the doctor can't even explain it, because I have on paper, on your analysis, your paper,
Yeah.
uh, I look like I'm he said 30 years old.
Wow.
He goes, and I can't explain it. He goes, I don't know how. He goes, what are you? I told him I'm a vampire.
What you call him? What's that movie? Benjamin. The life of Benjamin. Is it?
I think
He
I've
grew-
heard,
Do you
of
smoke
it.
marijuana? Is it
No,
legal in Texas?
no, I don't
Oh,
do
okay.
anything. I don't do anything.
Wow.
He
Because I
ages
know
fast.
marijuana cures a lot of
But
stuff.
I did
Yeah.
it. I just did it the way that I used to do it when I was younger. When what I already know what to do, and like I said, my doctor still can't figure it out. He says, "Man, I don't understand this. You're not supposed to look like this. You know what I mean?" He asked me one time, he goes, "What do you do? Well, how are you? How?" And I just joked with him. I said, "Because I'm a vampire. That's why." and
What
but
did you say? Are you drinking a potion?
yeah, but
Maybe that becomes her, and that I need that potion. I mean, I need that potion that you age, or you stop aging, or you
right.
younger.
You see, and then even now I'm 55. When I go investigate in this forest is no joke, because it's got grades in there, and I mean
Oh,
certain levels of grades that are tough to walk, because it's you're actually hiking in a way, where you are hiking, and of course I have my backpack with my equipment, and we walk from
We all know that's not light.
it's not, and then we walk to some of these doorways. They're like you're going to be walking like a total of about 12 miles. And then if you don't walk every day, you're not used to doing that. Yeah, it's going to be rough. But yet, and yeah, we do jump fences. We jump everything. This thing about us. I don't follow
Just do it.
I don't follow the paranormal rules. I jump everything. So yet that even my team it's been consistent of my son. He just barely turned 30, and the other ones were all under 30, and here I am 55, and they have a hard time keeping up with me, you know,
oh God.
and right now I don't take anything. I don't take no medications other than just for anxiety, what I mean? And the only reason why I take those is not even for anxiety, it's to slow my mind down, because I'm
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
So that I can focus on one thing. And I really don't take them that much either, because I just don't like it. But how did I go from being terminal on this and that? They found an anomaly in my heart that if I wasn't gonna, I was gonna have a heart attack sooner or later. Well, there's nothing there anymore. So I tell my wife this? So how did I get cured from all of this without any medications or doing anything? Because she's known me when I was really psycho, when I could do all kinds of stuff. I would really work a lot of my magic then. And I started to think is, what if we didn't know how old we were? Because even with time, like Anthony was saying earlier about time, I said, yeah, you can stop time. You can do fast forward, whatever. Because, remember when we used to go out and stuff, and then we'd be on there, even now, God, dog, I didn't know we were on here for 5 hours. I didn't know it was already so late.
Yeah,
Or you're out somewhere and you don't realize. You'll say, I didn't know it was so late.
I know, like
You
time
see?
is flying. I mean, it feels like you're there for 20 minutes, but it's like 4 hours, 5
Right.
hours later.
But also there's times that you feel like, God, where did the time go? It's already late. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it goes back
Or
and
the
forth.
year is like,
Right. Or the year.
Yeah.
last year it went slow. This year's gone fast.
So maybe
That's just me.
maybe because you make yourself aware of these things,
Yeah.
now it affects you. It affects your time. It affects everything. So then, are we in control of that then? Because if you didn't know how old you were, because see, I don't even follow the 3 meal rule. This thing that they say you got to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Who said that?
Yeah, I don't do that.
So
I don't do it,
Once
no.
a day, maybe.
Me too.
So if we didn't, and when you look back in time, maybe these people lived so long because they didn't celebrate birthdays because they didn't even know when they were born, because they didn't keep track of that. So they didn't know they were 50 years old. So they don't have anything to connect with like we do. Oh, I'm getting old. I'm trying to slow down. Well, you're speaking all that on you.
Stigma. That
It's funny you say that. I didn't mean to cut you off. My grandmother, she raised me too, but when she passed, we all thought she was a different age, but come to find out, she was only 69. We all thought she was like 63 because I think she forgot her own age till we, ended up burying her. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so you see, that's what I'm saying. So it maybe because we keep track of that now, because now it's birthdays. You know what I mean? Like just with that, everything. Another year. You're another year. So and you associate that with slowing down, or starting to get old, starting to get this.
That's what I was going to say about the stigma. When you get older, you should be, don't go out, don't socialize, stay at home. And then, because I always said I'll be 60 and probably still in the nightclubs, which I won't be. I won't be.
I mean, like this. I look at Liz from Ireland, our friend.
Liz.
She's up in her years.
Oh, Liz is from Scotland.
Yeah, Scotland. Liz from Scotland.
Yeah.
She's up in her years, but that lady's out there kicking butt, man. She's out there investigating at night in the cold at these castles. You know what I mean? And so
brilliant. Oh, she doesn't stop. She doesn't stop.
You see
funny.
that maybe because in her mind she's not her age.
Yeah.
She's never accepted it. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. So with me, I know that I'm living proof because I know what I've been diagnosed, and I know the pain that I did go through at those times. And I thought, they told me, because I also had like advanced arthritis on my neck and on my back, that eventually the doctor told me, goes, you're not going to be able to move your neck anymore because it's going to fuse together and you're not going to be able to walk. Well, yeah. Well, where's it at now? Where's it at now? It's gone. Everything's gone.
I wish my body would heal like that.
Well, it can.
I sat on the chair earlier and I yelped like a dog. And my daughter said to me, what's wrong? And my back, because I have major, really bad problems with my back. And I stood up and I went to walk. And I really hurt my back just by standing up. It's shit. It's debilitating. It's crap because it's like, I'm 47 and I feel like 107. 107 will probably have more mobility than I would. It's driving me insane.
When I got diagnosed, I was 40 years old with all my stuff. We will have to talk about that later, but I was healthy, active, doing so much. Woke up one day, I'm like this. I'm like, why can't I move? And next thing you know, I'm getting diagnosed with this. And it's just...
listen, I mean...
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. And so I don't associate my age with anything.
I'm not going to anymore. I'm going to stop it. If my body is sore, it's because I haven't gotten older. I did say I'm not going to mention age, but it needs a little MOT and a little bit of oil and, oil like the Tin Man. Oil my body. And, kind of, I'm a little bit rough.
I'm trying to.
We played hard when we were younger. Not that kind of play, but
I've pushed my body to the limit when I was younger.
Where is this?
I'm trying to see what Anthony's referring to. 5 years ago,
Oh yes.
that
Let
I
it go.
did an investigation. I don't
I'm looking
remember. I
for
don't
it.
know. Remember which that one was? Which one?
I gotta let my dogs out. Be right back.
Oakley dokley. Oh, here we are, Anthony. Sorry. Anthony, 5 years ago, there was an investigation you was on. You saw something that made you ask, what was that? Oh, my battery's about to go on my phone.
I don't know. I don't remember. Not to be a little bit more specific, I've had so many.
What we are doing good. We are here chatting away. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming in and watching with us. Jean, my ancestors are from Donegal. I hope to make it there someday. It's absolutely fabulous. I love Donegal. I holiday in Donegal. I think it's amazing. My twin holidays in Donegal as well, up in the mountains. And it's fabulous. You can turn your phone off, I know my girls, when I took them on holidays to Mayo, we had no Wi-Fi.
Oh,
And they hated it. And we were on a private beach. It was just we were literally at the edge of Mayo in a place called Blacksod Bay. And we had the Atlantic Ocean right beside us. And the next stop across that Atlantic Ocean would have been New York. We were right beside New York. But my children didn't like Mayo because there was cows on the beach. And the scenery was just breathtaking. I always said I'm going to move to Mayo.
yeah.
But definitely go to Donegal. It is fabulous. Is there any place that you would love to investigate that you haven't done but you really, really, really want to do? Like we always ask a question. If money was no object, where would you investigate?
Skinwalker Ranch.
I want to go back. I want to not go back. I want to go there so bad.
Yeah.
I've seen documentaries on it.
Yeah, like I said, I've been asked that question a lot. In they say like anywhere in the world, not still in the United States. But to me, right, like from what I've seen and studied on Skinwalker Ranch and what I've seen on there, that place has so much, and it's really amazing because they have real scientists. They're doing this, and they're not the first ones to. This Skinwalker Ranch goes before even they were there, But the things that are there are exactly the same things that are in the forest, because they have the spiral. The natives there, they have the spiral that represents portal openings, and depending on which way it's going, either once an entrance and once they exit. That first doorway that we went into when that started happening, when we went back, when I finally found it, and we went back during the daytime, the tree, it's on one of the trees had that symbol on it. And I was trying to take a picture of it, but it wouldn't come out on the phone. It wouldn't come out in the picture. But I knew what it was. I know what that symbol represents. So to me, it's kind of like, you see what I'm talking about? We're not making this up. Of all places, here's a doorway that we know we crossed over, and it has a sign that says portal entry on it. I mean, come on, how much do you need? You know what I mean? And then when you look at these lands, like these sacred lands the natives have, they have, especially Skinwalker Ranch, they have the spirals on there representing the portals that are there, and they open them with their music, which is frequency.
Oh my gosh!
And that's why. I started doing that before I saw this also on this episode. So to me, it's like I'm constantly being led on which way I'm going. I just keep following the voice that tells me that. And it hasn't been wrong. So maybe this time of year I won't come back.
We'll be checking in on you every day, Anthony.
A lot of people know this because they've heard me say this, and then when they tell me that, they say, "When you gonna go next?" Well, I'm taking off. I'll be heading that way here next week.
You're gonna let us know when you're going next.
Huh?
Are you going to let us know when you're going?
Oh yeah, because I'll post it everywhere. I'll post it under head into the forest.
Like when do you think you're going to go back?
Well, like I said, I was planning to go to New Orleans, but I've right now I kind of ran into a little financial thing with just because I got a lot of toys, and then I started helping one of my kids out, and then so that kind of put a big burden on me.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it happens.
Yeah. So and then so right now I don't know. And I was thinking about it today again because we're in July. We got August, September. 2 months because they got moved up a month. So that kind of kind of got me there because I will have a month of time there still. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to make it now because we have to fly because we're flying. We're not gonna drive, and which is
Okay.
not as that expensive either. But it's just still putting the rest of the financial thing together on that trip.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a
So
lot.
if I don't end up going in September to New Orleans, then I'm probably going to end up going to San Antonio.
In September.
Yeah, yeah, because I already put in for my vacation time too for
Okay.
that.
Okay.
For that, I put it in for what is it, Emmy? The 29th?
Of September?
Yeah, 29th, 30th, and October 1st.
Yeah, I put it in for a week in between that. So it'll be on the 28th. I think I started mine on the 28th of September. So it'll be around that time that I'll go back.
It's my birthday month. I want that as my gift. You must go back. You must go back.
Oh, yeah.
I know we have a lot of things coming up, and
like I said, that story, or that investigation has a huge following. It does. I mean, people have been following this from the since I started coming out with it, and I started actually going live in it because I wasn't going live before, and I started going live when I'm in there because I only can go live for so long, and then when I do start doing other certain things, then I don't show that.
Okay, I understand. I think Chantel is asleep because she's sleeping, texting me in her sleep. I just follow my unicorn around. He is an asshole. He doesn't bite, but he judges you. So it's worse. Chantel mails when she's asleep. She voicemails when she's asleep. And I don't know how she texts, but she does.
Oh, Chantel. Yeah.
Yes, Chantel. She's
Scotty's girlfriend.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Chantel was over with her granddad last December. I know. She was over with her granddad last December, and I said, Chantel, I'm 40. I'm an hour's flight away. You can't come from South Africa to the UK and not come over to Ireland. Well, she did. And granddad came along with her. Holy crap.
Oh, man.
She said she never drank so much wine ever in her life until she came to me. You're welcome. We had so much fun. We had a crazy weekend. But she is coming back to me in December. Oh, I cannot wait. I took her up to the museum. But yeah, she blamed me for the wine drinking. But listen, she didn't say no, Chantel, did you? I'll get double the next time now in December. I'll get double.
Dracula's Castle sounds interesting too. I actually have a friend that went there and did a live investigation from the actual castle.
How was it?
They did a seance actually in it.
Oh my God, I'd love it. I had a great guy on my show, Tim Kuma, not Kuma, Tim. From Things Network.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal's husband.
Yeah, I've seen Things Network.
That's it. So he was on the show. I forget his surname. Sorry, I forget. It's been a while since we spoke. But I had him on the show. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The castle was fun. Polly won a cracker. That was the museum Melmount. It was not a castle. There's a parrot in a cage and she goes, Polly won a cracker. And we listen back to the audio and you can hear a man talk. And we don't know what he's saying, but you can hear him saying something. But that's it. So we're gonna end tonight. It's been 3 hours?
3.5.
3.5. Yes.
No, it hasn't been 3.5.
3 hours and 28 minutes. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Becoming a habit. Look, Chantel, I'll text you when I come up. I'll text you. Where can people find you, Anthony? Where can people find you?
Well, I have all the links in the chat.
Okay. I'm going to have them all written up so then people can just link into them and go straight into it. I want to say thank you so much for coming on with us tonight with us.
I feel like the podcast never stopped.
Here. I know, right?
It feels like it's continuing. Just a quick nap and then we're all back on again.
Because my husband was saying, he's like, you guys were on for like 4 or 5 hours last night. And he's like, how long is your podcast today? I'm like, 2 hours. And I confirmed it with you. I was like, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
We were on for 4 hours and then another 2 hours almost afterwards.
Yeah. We were on for 6 hours. Yeah. And I got to bed at 10 o'clock this morning. 10 o'clock this morning I got to bed, and then I got up at 3. Such a healthy lifestyle. And now I'm hungry. I'm going to see if somebody will deliver food for me. Because I'm hungry. But I want to say, Anthony, thank you so much for being on tonight with us. I'm so intrigued about this forest. I'm so intrigued in it. Emmy, thank you for coming on as a co-host.
Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate that.
You wee pet, you. Look, Chantal will tax herself as well. She's very funny. Anthony, a million thank you as well.
Just follow it. Just go to the links and follow it, because I'll be on there.
We are going in. We are going. I'm ordering some food, and I'm turning on my computer. Well, it is on, but I'm going into the page, and I'm going to be eating and looking at all those videos. And I'll probably text you like a million times. Oh my God, Anthony! Oh my God! Everyone who watched and commented, liked, and shared. Hopefully, thank you so much.
Don't forget the thumbs up on YouTube side.
Yes, thumbs up. I don't know if I'm on next week. Am I on next week? No, I'm not. A friend of mine, Jennifer, is over from America. And she is, I think she's coming over to, she's in Ireland. She has work to do, but then in Ireland. And she's going to meet up, and she's going to stay with me for a few days, and I'm going to take her to a few locations. So I'm not on next week. I'm not on next week. No, I'll be taking Jennifer to places. We did go to we met in Hellfire Club last week. Not last week, last year. And we met up with Nat, ACG Paranormal. Nat and Elliot. ACG Paranormal.
No.
Nat and Elliot. So we met up with them. So they're from Chicago. So Jen's just over on herself this year. So that's what we'll be doing next week. And I'm waffling because I'm tired. But I've got.
Thanks again for having me as a co-host.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll have to do it again. We have to. I know we're all dragging now because we're tired. Are you tired? Yeah. What time now? Look ahead of us now. Look ahead of us, as we say. Okay, we're going to bring you into the background, play the outro, and I will be back soon.
Bye, everybody.
I guess. Good night. Bye.